Damn it, Morty, there's no doctors anymore.
Dad? I thought I was better than this. Dramatic voiceover while stranded in space.
Making fun of the thing while doing the thing doesn't make you cool, it just makes you a hipster. Please refer to the following ding if you have any questions regarding how I feel about hipsters.
Considering how you make fun of mistakes in movies while simultaneously making a ton of mistakes yourself, I'm giving you a sin for hypocrisy.
Guess when you're dying, the first thing to go is your creativity.
That might make sense, considering your body probably should be using all your brain power trying to figure out a way not to die. That being said, I can't tell if Rick's being profound or just using the opportunity to take cheap shots at Marvel, the Russo brothers, and Iron Man.
What the hell was any of that? Is he really sinning Rick for making fun of Iron Man? Why is that a sin? It's 10 times funnier than anything I've seen in the past 100 Sins videos I've watched.
Citadel's gone.
Acting like the Citadel being gone is negative. We've been there enough. Let's move on.
Actually, the Citadel episodes were all very entertaining, so I don't really see your point. Oh, that's because you don't have one. Okay.
Nobody quits Twitter.
Hey, that's not... Okay, yeah, that checks out.
Discount Jeremy sends something he agrees with cliche.
Hey, remember like a second ago when you pretended not to know who Iron Man was? Who was that for?
That fake-ass laugh.
Spinal cord. Robitussin as a base, then surprise me.
Robitussin's a funny choice, but since you started in that direction, it's likely your spinal cord will surprise you with some cough drops in a neti pot.
Unfunny joke is unfunny.
Show makes me wonder if this was just a fun idea they wanted to throw in the opening or a glimpse of a future Rick and Morty as Sherlock and Watson episode. I so want it to happen! Stop playing games with my emotions in the opening credits.
So the show made a mistake by having a fun clip in the opening credits? What the hell?
Oh my god, she found you. Here, eat.
If Beth didn't even know they had been found, who were these two perfectly timed sandwiches made for?
Herself and Space Beth? Just a random guess based on there being two sandwiches and two Beths. Oh, I'm forgetting that the TVSins writers don't know how to count that high.
Just about. Convert to nutrient mass.
Show drops a deus ex machina and hopes we won't notice.
Discount Jeremy drops an incorrect usage of the term deus ex machina and hopes we won't notice.
Also handling a nutrient mass with your bare hands.
Pointing things out on the screen with your bare hands. Wait, that doesn't sound right.
Explained it fine, Morty. You're spoon-feeding spoons.
So is that taking food with a spoon and putting it into another spoon, or is it using a spoon to feed someone actual spoons? I mean, both are funny visuals, but I need to know what I'm laughing at.
Discount Jeremy sends something he likes cliche.
Oh my god, the Jerry Baree.
Oh, the Jerry Baree. Deep cut.
Making fun of your fans for getting the reference.
Pointing things out on the screen.
Rick pays me in things like Wolverine claws.
Pretty sure we all felt a disturbance as that singular individual just yelled at the screen, "Those are not Wolverine claws." Well, I must humbly inform you that the double claw arrangement does belong to X-23, who ultimately takes up the mantle of Wolverine. So, as they say, the episode's case does hold water. However, litigation has no place here and will be sent accordingly.
A whole bunch of boring and unfunny bullshit.
Having a doorbell for a garage door.
Or maybe, and you might want to brace yourselves because this explanation is going to absolutely destroy your entire perception of reality, maybe, just maybe, that button is the button that opens the garage door.
Picture, right here, for which I have so many questions. Who is this? Is it an Easter egg? A young Rick, perhaps? One that is yet to know the ravages of time? Maybe it's Sleepy Gary. Could he have been real in this universe? Maybe my memory is failing me? Maybe the numerous callbacks in this series have become too much? Or maybe, just maybe, this picture means nothing at all and is just a cruel joke thrown in for the creator's sick amusement.
It's Jerry, you fucking dumbass.
Well, all the magazines on this rack seem pretty sinful. My main issue is with Rolling Boner, because it sounds painfully detached.
Discount Jeremy says boner.
Also, porn magazines survive a mutant holocaust. Wait, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, now we'd have time to read the articles, I guess, so I'm going with the bad thing.
Unfunny joke is unfunny.
Damn it, Morty, there's no doctors anymore.
Then maybe announce yourself before sneaking up on your kid who's carrying a weapon.
Says the guy who has mentioned Jerry's idiocy numerous times in the past. If you know that Jerry is stupid, why are you sinning him for being stupid?
They say my mind is held captive in a time loop, trapped in the day of a traumatic event.
Ah, this is one of those convenient exposition notes that show up when the writers realize there's so much going on that they couldn't possibly explain it organically in 20 minutes.
So he's sinning the episode for delivering its necessary exposition in a funny way? That's stupid.
Right. I used to drink.
Using alcoholism as an excuse for your behavior.
Sinning a character for staying in character.
Morty wrote this fast because had to set trap, thought you'd have cooler shit. See other note, bye.
That fake-ass laugh.
You were pulled home by whatever happened. It's likely our target was as well.
Convenient computer-generated ghost reasoning is convenient. and reasonable.
If it's reasonable, then how is it convenient? A convenient reasoning would imply that the reasoning was randomly pulled out of someone's ass, but if it's actually reasonable, then it means it would make sense for someone to think of it, thereby disproving your claim that it's convenient.
Or you'd be a bomb. Do you feel bomby?
Asking this and not giving the person any idea what that would feel like, because what I think Bommy feels like usually turns out to just be a fart.
A fart joke from the same channel that constantly sins fart jokes? No, they would never stoop to that level of hypocrisy, would they? Oh, who am I kidding? These people are completely oblivious.
Where are we going? To kill your grandpa, little buddy.
Premature murder. No, that's not it. Premeditated murder. Gah. Conspiracy to commit murder. That's it.
Discount Jeremy points things out on the screen cliche.
Am I in a fucking K-hole right now? What is going on?
Asking this without prior knowledge of eating Kellogg's Special K.
Was that meant as a joke? Jesus Christ, do people actually find this shit funny?
Listen, I'm not here. Or am I?
This evil Rick f***ing around for all the some time, and we never learn why his base looks like a Perplexus maze ball.
Oh, are you not going to explain why that was a sin? I mean, I was just waiting for him to say the sinful part, but if he's not going to do that, I guess we can just move on.
There's the clone you found. Or maybe it's me all naked. Just a little Kaiser Sose.
This is not how you Kaiser Soze. This might be how you Terminator or Sixth Day.
Skip.
Did this last season. You're like a suicide bomber.
Do they often do the thing more than once? Maybe I'm not getting it. Well, this one is for confusion then. Theirs or mine.
Sinning the episode for your own stupidity? That's the TVSins way.
Fucking stupid fifth-dimensional stomach juices.
Assuming all stomach juices from the fifth dimension are the same.
Pointing things out on the screen.
This emergency was oversold to me.
Rick pulling a MacGuffin out of his pocket just so he can be unimpressed by something cliche.
That's not a cliche, my man.
Wait, if they had to wear helmets?
I do child-proofing stuff while you're asleep.
Doing stuff to someone's body while they're asleep. And yes, this makes all surgeries, though medically necessary, still inherently creepy.
Discount Jeremy hates medical procedures? Wow, redneck alert.
Also, considering Rick could have probably pulled some spacesuits out of his ass, the writers have essentially written themselves into a plot hole just so they could write themselves back out.
I'm gonna count that as a Discount Jeremy tries to apply logic to a cartoon ex machina based on the fact that this show isn't supposed to make any logical sense, so shit like this really shouldn't be worth a sin.
I don't see the bowl for the peas. Where did the peas come from? Don't eat the peas!
They could be from a dish that isn't on the table? Or maybe it just doesn't matter because nobody cares.
The whole fucking episode all over again.
The fourth wall called and is starting to question its existence.
Discount Jeremy sins fourth wall breaks for no reason cliche.
Do, baby! Nice timing, Grandpa Rick.
So, what do you want to do today? Eat some snacks and maybe let me kiss you finally? You know, with my mouth and stuff?
We're about to learn that all of these people are tiny parts of Morty's consciousness. So, I don't know what's sadder. That some small part of Morty wants to kiss himself, or that another part is totally not into it.
So, are you going to explain to us what the sin is here? Cause so far, you haven't said anything that's actually sinful. You've just pointed out something about a character that's really sad, which isn't a sin.
You guys keep thinking I'm a religious leader. You're all my grandson, your name is Morty, you're stuck in a video game, and I'm here to get you out.
Look, this is a pretty tough sell, but Rick Roy's tactics certainly aren't doing him any favors. If he wants to make sure this doesn't look like an organized religion, why use a flyer that clearly gives the impression he's running for political office?
How do you propose he does it? Rick is simply spreading the word and simultaneously hammering home the point that he's not a religious leader. What else do you want? I mean, the flyers don't say anything about politics or religion, so your claim that they give that impression is kinda total bullshit.
Power went out, the game restarted, and your identity has been splintered into all the non-player characters.
Well, then that seems like a pretty big engineering flaw, no? I mean, when the Pirates of the Caribbean breaks down, it's not like the pirates eat the tourists. Is a joke I just totally made up myself.
Ignoring the pirate joke, you're still not pointing out any real sins. The fact that the video game has engineering flaws is not a flaw of the episode, seeing as real-life games almost always have some kind of bug, glitch, or other weird thing about them.
Every single one of you is 1/5 billionth of Morty. All of you collectively are Morty.
But how are they even functioning if they're only 1/5 billionths of Morty's consciousness? I use at least 10% of my brain, and yesterday I totally forgot the word for that thing you do when you thrust your hips backwards and forwards and try to stay inside of a moving circular void. Hula hooping, you know, for kids.
Discount Jeremy makes a cringy sexual joke that isn't funny cliche. Also, Morty's consciousness being split so much might give you the impression that the NPCs wouldn't be able to function, as you've stated, but if you were to actually pay attention and do some of your own thinking, you'd realize that the video game itself is still running, causing the NPCs to function. In other words, Morty's split consciousness is only able to function because it's directly connected to the game.
Do you understand time dilation? I'm losing a month a second out here.
So what happens to Roy while you're out here? Does he go on autopilot? Does he disappear? Because by the end of this conversation, you'll have been gone for almost 2 full years. And if you really want people to buy in, you should be shooting for 3 days away, max.
It doesn't really matter what happens when Rick is out of the game because it has no effect on the plot, meaning that it wasn't drastic enough to do anything. Therefore, this isn't a sin.
Do a Die Hard.
What does that mean?
Sneak around, use air vents. You've never seen Die Hard?
Hey, doing a Die Hard's way more than just sneaking around and hiding in air vents. You could dedicate a whole episode to doing a Die Hard if you wanted to, but I suppose that might come off as an unimaginative excuse to include a lot of Die Hard references, so I guess you'd have to balance it with an overly metaphorical A-plot, questioning our perception of reality against our many internal narratives, and that just seems like a lot of mixed messages.
What does overly metaphorical even mean? How can something be using a metaphor too much? That's just an arbitrary way for him to force us in out of the episode. Also, he called Summer's plotline unimaginative because it's basically a Die Hard parody, so let me pose this question. How can a YouTube channel that claims to be a parody not realize when a TV show is doing a parody?
Melting an entire stick of Morty butter to cook only 2 eggs.
Pointing things out on the screen to get only one unnecessary sin.
If this is a game about Roy, why is it currently focusing on her walking down the street? Shouldn't be wherever Roy is right now? And why does it look like it's happening in real time? And yes, I know the game is broken, but you know what? You're broken.
He says one possible reason for the thing he pointed out, and then still sins it anyway. Satire, ladies and gentlemen. That's totally what this is, even though it's actually not, by definition. Satire. Oh, and comedy.
This Don't Touch Me game reminds me of a game I played this one time in an arcade called Flaming Finger.
Skip.
We exchange tokens for digital currency. We don't have a safe.
Correction. What you don't have is a head.
Discount Mr. Takagi makes a great point. What are the terrorists doing here if there's no currency to actually steal? What are they even heisting?
So, do you think that the robbers already knew there was no physical currency here, even though they were literally just asking the manager where to find the physical currency, implying that they didn't know? Are you pretending to be dumb to get sins, or are you actually dumb?
Hello, my name is Morty. I'm a 14-year-old boy in a video game.
Still better than most religious music, except for the Benedictine monks of Santo Domingo de Silos. Those dudes f***ing rule.
Unfunny joke is unfunny.
Coming through the ceiling when you've already driven a tank through the fireplace.
Pointing things out on the screen when you've already run that trope into the ground.
Stealing your logo from Star Trek. I'd say this was a nod to Space Force doing the same thing, but I'm not sure 1/5 billionths of Morty's brain would be quite that meta.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture reference that isn't a sin of the episode cliche.
Sneak around, crawl in some vents, do a Die Hard.
Imitating Die Hard this well without ever having seen Die Hard.
Pointing things out on the screen this doggedly without paying attention to the episode.
Because they killed him, and it wasn't difficult.
Getting so angry you accidentally go full Gungan.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture reference that isn't a sin of the episode cliche.
Every sentient civilization across the galaxy eventually develops the same myth.
Johns, Bobby, are we supposed to believe that despite every single sentient species having their own version of Die Hard, there isn't a single iteration that better suits this specific situation? Is the show seriously saying that no one in the galaxy has come up with Die Hard in an arcade?
Yes.
The difference being that cultures like mine are aware of its importance.
Fine, but did they care enough to make 2 killer sequels and then wait over a decade to make another one about hackers and shit, and then wait a further 6 years to make another one that was basically nothing like the others and essentially lost everything that was fun about the original? Did they? Did they live free until it was a good day to die hard? Did they?
And I care why? Seriously, what was the point of all that? I'm not mad, Aaron. I'm just disappointed.
Talkie Die Hard, motherfucker.
We all have that friend that mangles movie quotes. This sin is for them.
Sinning something that happens in the real world when you're supposed to be sinning a TV show? That's dumb.
The
World is united because the world is one 14-year-old boy.
United? The only thing that would unite a world of 14-year-old boys is the mutual agreement that no sock could be confidently used for its intended purpose.
You disgust me.
Couldn't find it, so I'm standing in the general area with the microphone.
Is exactly how my sex tapes get made?
Discount Jeremy makes a cringy sex tape joke that isn't funny cliche.
That will force the game to reset, but first it'll kick us out, which Morty should survive. I mean, whatever amount of Morty we have on board.
This is the most yada pile of convenience in the episode. Not just that you can force a reset, but that the reset will kick out Morty, and the reset won't harm Morty. It's almost like the creators of this game were in cahoots with the writers of Rick and Morty.
How is this shit convenient? I'm kinda getting tired of them using that word over and over without actually knowing what it means. I mean, it's not unrealistic to think that resetting the game in which Morty is stuck would kick him out. Think about it. When you're playing a game and you reset it, does it typically keep you in the game? Are you typically able to keep playing during the reset? Of course not. This shit isn't convenient at all.
Also, why does it only kick out the Morty minions that are on the ship? Why would a forced glitch have arbitrary plot tension rules?
It's adorable, and by adorable I mean stupid and annoying, how he mentions the glitch being forced, but still can't understand that Rick created the means by which he and Morty are leaving the game. That's why they have to be on the ship when it takes off, because Rick created it as a means of escaping.
A mom in a video game, occupied by a tiny fraction of yourself. A fraction of yourself which is now dead forever, and fractions add up.
Okay, so when a piece of Morty dies, they die for good? But Rick will eventually spend decades in here. So if those fractions add up, why isn't Rick in more of a hurry? If this simulation is anything like the real world, 60 million fractions of Morty are dying every year from natural causes, sloth attacks, and staple gun pranks. All of which means that Rick only has maybe 83 years before there are no fractions of Morty left to save. Unless, of course, the fractions that die are saved by the game and recycled into the babies that the other fractions of Morty are making. Putting aside the fact that we don't even have a word for what type of cest that is, it also means that Rick shouldn't be worrying about losing fractions of Morty at all.
Well, that should be a tip-off that that's not how it works then. As for the part about Rick needing to work faster, he was trying, you dumbass. What did you think this entire episode was about? He was doing everything he could to gather the Morty fractions as quickly as possible. It's baffling to me how you can't understand these very simple concepts.
So for some inexplicable reason, at least 2 other fractions of Morty's subconscious believe they have monocular vision.
What the hell? Did I hear him right? Is he thinking of a different type of vision? Monocular vision is when you only rely on one eye to see, and these guys are clearly looking through the glass with both of their eyes. What the hell is this sin?
I'm going to wander the arcade unarmed, and when she comes across me, I'll pretend to be a hostage.
If Johns has studied Die Hard so much, wouldn't it make more sense to improve upon the mistakes made in the movie rather than repeat them and fall for the same tricks? Hook, line, and sinker?
Isn't that kind of the point though? He knows all the mistakes that were made in the movie, but then still makes those same mistakes himself. You're literally sinning a parody for being a parody.
Also, I'm tempted to sin Summer for ruining this fancy suit, but I'm sure Johns has too.
Can't just keep yelling Die Hard.
I mean, you're basically doing the same thing, as is this episode. There's a lot of hypocrisy going around here. Don't throw bare feet in glass houses. Or whatever.
Sinning something for being hypocritical is hypocritical in and of itself. So here's a sin for your hypocritical hypocrisy, you hypocritical hypocrite.
He spent 50 years! 50 years! It's what, a couple hours to him?
Well, since he said that every month is a second, 50 years would be 10 minutes, not 2 hours. And the President of the United States should know this.
And how would he know that? The President is a fraction of Morty's consciousness, not Rick's. So it makes perfect sense that he wouldn't know.
I can finally get out of these clothes. I don't have nearly enough pockets.
Complaining to a woman about how you don't have enough pockets.
Pointing things out on the screen.
You have to tell us you love us. I mean, at this point, even if he said it, what's with the pause?
Rick is a dick for no reason, even though his dickishness will short-circuit his own plans cliché.
That's not a cliche, my man. Go get yourself a dictionary.
Where the hell were these guys a few minutes ago? Let me guess, they're all sitting on a beach earning 20%?
Unfunny joke is unfunny.
Gotta help her. You know what? Wherever she is, I'm sure she's doing fine without your help.
Oof, jinx anyone.
Trying to make me believe that Rick believes in me believing that Rick believes in jinxes.
A whole bunch of bullshit.
You don't have to not do things that were done in Die Hard. You can shoot the glass. Shoot the glass.
Scene does not contain John saying this in their native tongue and then repeating it in English for clarity.
Look, I've never actually seen Die Hard, so I don't know for sure if that's what this sin is referring to, but either way, it's not legitimate criticism, it's not funny, and it's not satirical, so the only thing it really is stupid.
Wait. And then what? Then we help your sister do her Die Hard.
But how in the hell are they able to hear this in real time? This game is happening so fast it should sound like this.
Didn't you mention the fact that the game is broken earlier? Yeah, you really should have gone back through your script before finalizing this video.
His name is Rick, and we have no way of knowing if your generation is actually part of Morty.
Do you really have a way of knowing anything? Like, for instance, how do you know that there aren't parts of Morty in things other than human NPCs? Maybe dogs have some Morty in them. Maybe rocks with googly eyes. I've seen everything everywhere all at once. I know how this shit works.
They don't know any of that for sure, but that's still not a sin because this is Morty we're talking about. He doesn't typically think things like this through, so you're sinning a character for being himself.
Okay, this is a little awkward, but the time dilation has given me a chance to reflect.
Sincere Rick is the least convincing Rick, but since we're in time dilation, I have to be careful how I do this, because
Skip.
I'm not going to presume to know how this alien's anatomy works, but I would think it's safe to assume that this arm should at least be slightly less functional while carrying this laser hole around.
Since you admitted that you don't know anything about this alien species' anatomy, I'm gonna sin you for not thinking about the possibility of adrenaline, or something similar, maybe even stronger, that could potentially offset the pain of a bullet wound.
You left your book in the bathroom. I read it while I took a
Reading on the toilet, aka committing a hemorrhoidian slip.
Pointing things out on the screen.
He's fine. Got them all out. Every last piece.
Another open-ended Rick and Morty ending. I'm dubbing these co-text closings because the writers know they might want to pull stuff from the episode out again later, so they make sure to always leave a hanging thread.
Which is a sin because... Oh, it's not? Then why did you bother mentioning it?
Yippee-kayak, other buckets!
Oh my god, I cannot f***ing believe this. Here we f***ing go.
Pretty sure we've landed on the actual title of my sex tape.
Discount Jeremy makes a cringy sex tape joke that isn't funny cliche.
Something, 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 turkey callback, something, something, Rick's pixelated. Improv, the rest is how I guess this scene was written.
And the sin is... Oh, sorry, there isn't one. Why would you say anything here then? Are we padding the runtime? I think we're padding the runtime.
Also, Rick's turkey feathers fall out, and I can't help but wonder what part of his human body is forever transmuted, laying forgotten on the cold concrete of the back porch.
So the episode made a mistake because you're taking it too literally? That's dumb.
Heard you smack the glass, Dad.
She knows the sound of turkey smacking glass? That is oddly specific and highly suspicious.
She heard something smack the glass. Nobody ever said she knew it was a turkey specifically, just that she was able to put two and two together and realize that something weird happening at their house is probably being caused by Rick.
Rick, put some pants on. Today has so few rules.
Jerry doesn't acknowledge that wearing pants inside the home is a courtesy we afford to our loved ones and not an obligation or requirement under the law.
So the sin is that Jerry said the word rules and you took that to mean he believes being fully clothed is a law? Do you see why I sin the Sins writers for being remarkably unfunny and annoying?
Also, if there are too few rules, then perhaps there should be more rules. For example, one must wear clothing before entering the dining room. Be specific if you don't want to see Rick's dangle doodles. You know he's a nudist.
Again, this sin means absolutely nothing because it's completely inconsequential to the episode and everybody watching. Regardless, Jerry never said too few rules, he said so few rules. So either way, you're manipulating the dialogue to force an unnecessary sin out of this scene.
Ding, ding, ding.
Whoa, 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 you have to be careful with that sacred word. You just can't go around sinning yourself like that. You reference your own sins enough as it is. Leave some fun for us.
Fun? These videos haven't been fun in a very long time, my man.
Can we please have a normal Thanksgiving?
Does Beth actually think anything normal is possible with her family? And what does normal even mean anyway?
Normal means no sci-fi shenanigans, and based on the fact that she just said she wants a normal Thanksgiving, yes, she does think it's possible. If you would stop talking over the episode, you might actually catch some of these details.
I will never miss an opportunity to send the Thanksgiving Jell-O mold.
Skip.
Holding your glass like this. I mean, animating your character to hold a glass like this. Move the thumb laterally for balance to avoid the glass accidentally flipping out of the grip.
You know, maybe Rick just isn't a weak little bitch who's incapable of holding a wine glass steady like you must be. That's not a sin on the episode. That's a sin on you. The next two sins are a running gag the TVSins writers have started where they sin characters for not getting consent to do something to them, which I think is meant to be funny, but it just falls flat on its face every single time they do it.
Bro, tell your son you love the shit out of him.
Oh, I'm gonna.
This is touching in a weird way, and I don't like it when I'm touched in a weird way.
Discount Jeremy makes a cringy sexual joke that isn't funny cliche.
We do share a shitty back.
You don't, though. You share a point in time with specifically replicated DNA, but then both Beths have individual opportunities to find a way to heal their backs.
Yup, but none of that is a sin of the episode, though. They were just saying that both of them have back problems because they share the same base DNA.
Floppy dropulites have less taste buds than humans. Their ice cream is like a hospital bed. It's designed for you to do less so it does more.
Wouldn't this mean their tongues are less sensitive and require more flavor to elicit the same effect? And yes, that would mean the food is doing more, but unlike hospital food or its beds, the flavor would be overwhelming.
So you contradicted yourself in this sin and then still counted it? That's weird. You'd think that they would remove such an obvious mistake from their video, but I guess the watch time is too precious.
You have your own space station?
But you said earlier...
I'll sleep in my car. It's got a TARDIS thing going on bigger on the inside.
An admission that renders a space station pointless and redundant.
Wait, what? Are you saying that Beth having a comfortable spaceship makes her having a space station pointless? Think about it in terms of the real world. The spaceship is like her car and the space station is like her house, so she lives in the station but can still sleep in her ship, if she's at someone else's house. None of this is difficult to understand at all.
We're the same person.
They are not.
Dude, the point is that they come from the same DNA, so their, for lack of a better term, premise is the exact same. They're not talking about experiences or anything like that right now.
I want you back in my guts like I'm one of your sick little fillies.
Is actually something that Beth said to herself that I now must consider when thinking of this episode later.
Indeed, which is not a sin because it's simply two characters being characters. Just because it's fucked up doesn't mean it's a sin.
Species of bionic space whale has carbon wiring.
Show forgets that we were dismissing most of the things of the show because of portal travel. It doesn't bother explaining how or why Rick has a space whale prepped and ready to go on the operating table just in case.
He didn't. He obviously had to get it from somewhere. And even if he already had it, we can safely assume he was keeping it in storage somewhere. You don't need to be outright deceitful to your audience. You can be honest with us.
I'm not killing it, for the record.
Carry on with your shocking space species shenanigans, sir, but perhaps install some sort of grate in the floor for goop cleanup? I mean, we know there is a hatch down there somewhere, but mopping up victims' gore must be exhausting.
Everything wrong with Bethic Twinstinct, ladies and gentlemen. A super genius is making a mess which he totally won't be able to clean up in seconds with some kind of technology.
I'm just saying, lies pile up, like credit card debt. You retain an advantage by staying liquid.
Rick doesn't have this live your truth sign hanging next to the live, love, laugh one in his knitting den.
Unfunny joke is unfunny.
Are we in love with ourselves? I mean, does that make us the most or the least healthy woman in the universe?
This is a wild hypothetical, and I'm happy it's being explored. But it also feels like a fanboy's fantasy being exploited on a dark website swimming through the adultness of the internet that I should not be exploring. My boner is so confused right now.
Discount Jeremy says boner. Also, he said he's happy it's being explored, so Discount Jeremy sends something he likes cliche.
Holy shit, you did a full San Junipero in here?
If they could pull a full San Junipero and Rick Sutton holodeck, then why does Rick even need to go to Blitz and Chits to play Roy?
He probably doesn't need to, but he still likes it because going to Blitz and Chits is a whole experience. It's like saying why go to a football game in person when you can just watch it at home.
Not ironing down the letter on your jacket.
Not pointing things out on the screen. I mean, pointing things out on the screen.
These tattoos could win on Ink Master, and I can't send that. But I can send having an ass this shiny.
Discount Jeremy hates ass.
It's a cool power to have, like if you have to fly coach, or if Summer asked you what you thought of Wonder Woman 1984.
Thinking that Summer would not only watch Wonder Woman 1984, but then also ask her potato of a dad for his opinion.
I feel like it's totally plausible for Summer to do exactly that just to fuck with Jerry, actually.
This entire sequence reminds me of my hatred of the word forest. I was once told that if I was confused about how to spell desert versus dessert, that the extra S in dessert was like an extra helping of sweet, yummy goodness. And that helped me. But you can't use that same logic for forest versus forest, so you would think that the extra R would mean lots more trees, so add the extra R in a word defining a place with a ton of fucking trees. But that is incorrect. So the sin, as always, is the English language.
Everything wrong with Rick and Morty, ladies and gentlemen. Aaron is stupid.
God, what happens in the shadows?
Considering they follow this up with...
Vampires? Oh, come on, that's not realistic!
I'm guessing the writers know exactly what they do in the shadows.
A whole bunch of unfunny bullshit.
Plot twist, Deus Ex Husbanda.
What is happening? Rick and Morty taking another one of my favorite sins? Are the writers trolling me? Alright, we've got to find out.
Skip.
Having many of the same shirt in the same color.
Pointing things out on the same screen. Or same color. Or, I mean, same show. Wait.
Well, hold on. This is weird.
Weird and permitted.
This weird permitted versus not permitted assessment goes on for all the uncomfortable twincesty amounts of Jerry being aroused times.
Which you think is a sin? Why? Sure, it's fucked up, but you're supposed to be pointing out flaws of the episode, not just saying when something fucked up happens.
They are still eating off the bird for dinner? Man, you pick it clean for meat for easy snacking later and chuck the bones in the bin. There is no reason to shove a carcass into the fridge and take up all that precious space.
So you're ignoring the fact that everyone in the family just had a really weird day where none of them would realistically be paying any attention to the turkey of all things? Okay.
Probably the most sinful part of this Thanksgiving dinner is the family can hear the threesome upstairs at all. Beth and Jerry's bedroom is here, and the dinner is here, so the sound of their conversation is pressing through the barely overlapped section of their room in the entryway and wafting into the dining room to be heard perfectly.
That's actually not unrealistic at all. How shitty is your hearing? Do you need hearing aids? Or are you just putting on a front to try and squeeze another sin out of this episode?
Disrespecting the garbage disposal.
Pointing things out on the garbage disposal, I mean the screen.
It says it's mayonnaise, ketchup, and wash your sister's sauce.
Did you just say wash your sister's sauce? First off, you shouldn't be washing your sister.
Ooh, I know. Everywhere that they about to move, I go. Got me on my mind, I'm about to lose control. Working overtime, I gotta shoot, reload. Yeah, I see you acting out, I'm wondering what all the baggage is. That can get a hold up in your chest, don't know the half of it. I can get a shit, then I ain't talking about the packaging. About to catch a body, that red carpet's what I drag it in.
Reading. But also, I feel like the show knew exactly what it was doing pulling this obscure quote, and I will not thank it for turning me onto the second sympathetic cannibal story I've been subjected to this year.
What are you talking about? Why are you randomly bringing cannibalism into an episode that doesn't have any cannibalism whatsoever? This sin is dumb and confusing. Also, the fact that he always sins reading doesn't surprise me, seeing as the TVSins writers appear to have the same intellectual capacity as a 12-year-old on codeine.
Strange. Usually my dreams, the cream, are the opposite of a nightmare. They actually turn out quite pleasant.
Discount Jeremy makes a cringy sexual joke that isn't funny cliche.
Using Snoozy as your app's brand name when I'm getting sheepy was right there for the taking.
Which isn't a sin because Snoozy is a much better name. Wait, do you think yours was better? Damn, that's embarrassing.
It clearly went to the Michael Myers School of Sit-Ups, and no amount of rock-hard abs will fix that kind of lower back trauma.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture reference that isn't a sin of the episode cliche.
Jerry appears to serve everyone from a batch of pre-buttered pancakes.
Skip.
What's this, pancakes? Sold.
Also, those pancakes have had syrup sitting on them for who knows how long.
Wait, I thought I just said skip.
Also, Jerry's decided to serve up Rick's pancakes even though he hasn't arrived yet.
God damn it, skip.
Also the third. Where even is the syrup?
Is he still droning on about pancakes? Jesus Christ, for the love of life itself, skip.
Best investment I've ever made.
This family of sociopaths didn't even flinch at a glass of orange juice being spilled all over the table. When this happens in my house, the resulting reaction invariably causes more damage than the initial spilling.
So the sin is that a weird family that has done countless insane things doesn't freak out when they spill a glass of orange juice? Are you sure you want to stick with that?
You can poke all the fingers I got if I get abs like Rick.
I'm just going to assume that this gadget is doing some internal switcheroo that means it isn't poking everyone with the same quickly diseased needle, but I will be sending the show for not confirming that assumption.
So you would prefer the show to go out of its way and explain a detail that requires no explanation? After hearing shit like this, I've got to admit, I'm surprised the TVSins writers even know how to breathe. Seems like that would be too complicated for them.
Judging by the brown edges here, these eggs are getting close to being overcooked and yet more Morty butter is being added, suggesting the egg cooking is not complete? Why does this show hate me?
I mean, there are plenty of reasons for that, but regardless, it's possible that the eggs are about to get flipped over for this side to cook.
I also like Tori Amos.
Reading the words I like Tori Amos in a condescending manner. You take that back, Summer.
Discount Jeremy has a boner for Tori Amos.
Who wants cake?
Answering a question with a trumpet.
Pointing things out on the screen with your YouTube channel.
How the hell does this discount severancing even work? Their bodies are still getting up at night and performing many tasks, so how would everyone not wake up sore and tired from the previous night's activities? All I'm saying is that if a fancy machine is causing me to wake up satisfied yet sore, I want to remember it.
The part about being sore is presumably true. They would wake up sore, but as for them being tired, the whole point is that they are asleep while this is going on. So that's not true.
Also, why would he be doing laundry in the dark? You wouldn't be able to separate out the colors darks and whites as well. If anyone ends up with red clothes that were previously white, they have no one to blame but themselves.
He says all of this as if Jerry is a smart enough character to avoid making this mistake. I mean, you yourself have mentioned his stupidity before, so I don't know why you're glossing over that right now.
No notes.
Well, Rick, I do have notes.
I think I speak for all of us with more than 2 brain cells that we don't want to hear your notes. In other words, skip.
Not gonna let that one slide even if it is a joke. You cannot be over 100% indestructible. Unless, of course, any attempt at destruction actually resulted in an increase of indestructibility by 10% or an increase of mass by 10%. As a result of this misbranding, you will see a roughly 10% increase in sins.
I let the entire sin play because I wanted you to all let the utter stupidity of it wash over you like a wave of pure annoyance. He mentions at the very beginning of the sin that this is all a joke, and then proceeds to sin it anyway.
Why won't you rinse your dishes?
Counter question, why are your eyeballs glowing like you have a 1,000-watt bulb inserted into your ear cavities?
Aaron, this is a cartoon that isn't supposed to follow real-world logic, and this episode specifically is a parody of the horror genre. With those 2 things in mind, can you see why this sin is dumb?
Once again, we do not need to see anyone puking ever. I don't care if it's animated. We don't need to see it. Stop showing it.
I've been saying a very similar thing about your unfunny jokes for a very long time, but nothing has changed in that arena, so this sin is very hypocritical.
What's your problem with me?
Not already knowing the answer to this question after just bursting into your granddaughter's room without permission while she's sleeping. Rick's lucky he wasn't greeted with a high-velocity radio alarm clock to the jaw, or whatever it is that teenagers sleep through nowadays.
So the sin is that Rick barged into Summer's room uninvited? You do realize that this fits perfectly with his character, right? Oh, you don't? Jesus, that explains it.
Did you have to make mushy garbage science on the living room carpet?
If this has been pulled from the garbage, I'm very confused. Putting aside the fact that an entire box of eggs has been thrown away, what even happened to them? Did a wild fox just very politely nibble on the top half of these, knowing that Rick would need them for some wild eggs machina? Either way, I'm still counting this as a breakfast sin.
Dude, sins like this are dumb because there are countless possible answers for why the eggs were thrown away. For example, maybe some mold started to grow on the shells, or maybe the eggs went bad, both of which are entirely possible. Also, that's a classic misuse of the term deus ex machina.
Are they going to be suspicious seeing Night Summer covered in all this Terry Gilliam?
2 episodes ago, Summer said she didn't know anything about Die Hard, but we're supposed to believe now that she has enough knowledge of Terry Gilliam to make this kind of reference?
Yes.
We're souping up that somnambula whatever so they could extend its range beyond the house.
I'm guessing the plan here is global daemonation by creating an army of night people. But if it currently only covers the house and Night Rick has only managed to extend the range by 169%, nice, then that's really only going to cover the neighboring house and maybe 70% in the next one at most. I really don't think Day Rick needs to be worrying at this point.
Jesus Christ, please tell me this was a shitty attempt at a joke. Please tell me you're not actually this stupid. Rick hasn't made a ton of progress yet, but so long as he is making progress, the Night family threat keeps growing because they're going to keep extending the range. A 5-year-old would understand this quicker than you.
Sorry, Rick, but your opinion means very little to me.
Wait, how did Night Summer manage to fake being regular Summer? Are the veiny eyeballs and husky speech just a choice? How the hell is she just switching that shit on and off?
Discount Jeremy tries to apply logic to a cartoon ex machina.
Everyone get behind my app!
This f***ing show, man.
That fake-ass laugh.
Okay, somebody really needs to dial in the dosage on these darts. It should not take this many darts unless the dosage is homeopathic or the end goal is a f***ing coma.
Discount Jeremy tries to apply logic to a cartoon ex machina.
I know this is a fun visual gag, but what maniac is selling cardboard boxes in the middle of the night that are fully assembled? Fully assembled! Who buys cardboard boxes fully assembled?
I think this sin might possibly have been meant as a joke, but I'm not really sure because his jokes are almost never funny. But either way, it's sinful as shit.
You almost didn't make it.
Choosing to peel through metal instead of, oh, I don't know, shooting through the already smashed window.
I mean, it clearly has a better angle from the roof than through the window.
Let's go home, right, Grandpa?
Great idea, Summer.
Rolling the credits here makes it seem as if the show wants this to feel like the end of Rick and Morty as we know it. What's weird is that the post-credit scene is super long and undoes all of that, which kind of just makes it a scene, and now I feel like I've been tricked into hanging around for the credits, which I didn't pay attention to anyway because it was so obvious that the story wasn't over yet. So the bottom line for me is that if you want to make a big swing with your TV show, start by getting breakfast right first.
This entire sin was completely meaningless and boring, and I feel like throwing 5 sins up for it is justified.
Normally, this would have been dealt with by our daemonoid oppressors.
The Night family scheme falls apart because they apparently aren't smart enough to keep their jobs, budget their finances, or do laundry, which is beyond baffling considering this isn't nearly as complicated as half of the shit that they were being asked to do in the first place. Wasn't the whole point that they get the mundane shit done so the Day family can be the mindless zombies?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait just a second. I am not letting you get away with this idiotic bullshit. Discount Jeremy just claimed that maintaining a job and responsibly handling your finances is easier than doing laundry, washing dishes, and working out. I'm honestly starting to question if the Sins writers are legitimately stupid. That's not a joke. Sins like this genuinely make me question what goes through their minds before they write something like this.
How long have we been asleep?
It can't be that long. Oh my god. No! They killed the Choco Taco!
Time to update my weekly list of crazy shit I have to say because of Rick and Morty, with using a sweet flavored taco as a unit of time measurement.
Sinning something that's not a sin.
Look, I don't go to sleep, I put in work.
Ship, favorites playlist, track 1.
They whole team get ran through. Ain't one thing I can't do. Snakes and grass, no bamboo. Move on quick, I plan to. On the fence, won't stand you. Cloud my eyes, no land you. Don't take L's, they hand you. Planet go, no time for plans. They whole team get ran through. Ain't one thing I can't do. Snakes and grass, no bamboo. Move on quick, I plan to.
Now that was some fantastic chow mein. And before you say that sounded racist, you can ask the waiter how they say it.
Having to explain yourself this much to prove you're not a racist. Also having a family dinner at Panda Express.
Pointing 2 things out on the screen in a row.
The kids seem disappointed that Rick won't play along with teasing Jerry, but how would Rick having robot arms extend from his body not be something interesting for the kids of TikTok to enjoy? Film that shit and get those views. Views are all that matters, baby!
Aren't you the same guy who has sinned the characters in this show for being surprised and interested in Rick's tech on the basis that they've seen too much crazy shit to care anymore? With that in mind, you're contradicting yourself here.
You know, fortune cookies only come true if you eat the cookie first.
Eating your fortune cookie while you still have this much of your entree left on the plate.
Pointing things out on the screen.
You will have sex with your mother.
In bed. Wait, no, I was just going to add the infamous in-bed gag to someone's fortune. I didn't realize this would be a sex with your mom episode. I was set up by the Rick and Morty writers and you know it.
Wait, I'm sorry. I thought there would be more to that sin, because so far he hasn't said anything critical, satirical, or funny. It's just been a boring rant. So he's not going to say anything else? That's disappointing.
Also, sure, right, it's not an ideal thing to get in a fortune cookie, and certainly shocking, but Jerry is speaking at the same volume as when he talked about getting the shits from the zoo earlier, and no one in the restaurant reacted to that.
Why do CinemaSins fans still insist on defending them when they say very deceiving things like this specifically to trick their fans? When Jerry mentioned getting diarrhea at the zoo, he lowered his voice, and there wasn't anybody all that close to him, but when he reads the fortune, it's at full volume with people physically closer to him, but Discount Jeremy figured deceiving people would get him an extra sin.
Over 4 episodes into the 6th season, and we still haven't gotten the Sherlock Holmes episode this scene promises.
Look, do I think a Sherlock Holmes episode would be funny? Yes, of course. But do I think literally any episode of Rick and Morty will be funny? Also yes, which is why I don't have an issue with there not being a Sherlock Holmes episode. Also, Discount Jeremy double dips cliche.
Jerry, are you seriously asking if I think you're gonna have sex with your mom?
He is. Man, I really hate that this cliffhanger of a question is actually intriguing me. This is the Who Shot JR of Rick and Morty incest cliffhangers, and unfortunately making cliffhangers plural was not an accident on my part.
He admitted that it was intriguing him, so Discount Jeremy sent something he likes cliche.
Sleepy Gary wasn't real.
Neither are fortune cookies.
I mean, the fortunes in the cookies might not be real, but fortune cookies are indeed real. You can hold them, you can eat them, you can stick your...
Discount Jeremy makes a cringy sexual joke that isn't funny cliche. Also, that entire sin only existed for the joke because I'm pretty sure Discount Jeremy understood that Beth was only referring to the fortunes there, and seeing as the joke was not funny, that sin wasn't worth it.
Well, yeah, then you should definitely hit that.
Morty raises his arm for a high five before his punchline is delivered, and Summer proactively preps for the high five without knowing if the joke would even be good enough.
Maybe because she already knew where he was going with the joke, seeing as it's a pretty obvious one.
And now we know that Jerry's familiar with tucking, so he either has no pubic hair or is able to shave very quickly. All things I did not need to know about Jerry.
Which is a sin because the show is not meant to be taken seriously at all, which is why something like this is not actually sinful. Now, I am sure that the TVSins fanboys who refuse to admit that TVSins has ever made a mistake will tell me that this sin was a joke, but I'm going to respond to that by saying it wasn't funny, so it's still sinful either way.
Also, walking into your parents' room at any time without knocking. Even if she's trying to catch her dad doing something embarrassing, this is still a horrible risk.
Nobody said it wasn't a horrible risk, but the higher the risk, the higher the potential reward. So you're just sitting somewhere for having balls. Jealous much?
Rick walks this way with a towel over his shoulder, then this way with 3 rolled towels a second later. And here he comes by with another set of folded towels. You know he's not doing house chores. Now all I care about is what 7 moisture-absorbing pieces of fabric could possibly be needed for.
Everything wrong with Rick and Morty, ladies and gentlemen. Discount Jeremy is such a little child that he gets distracted by background details.
Okay, I'm just as likely to shit a balloon as I am to become a dolphin.
Things overheard at the D&D table while reviewing the chaos table calculations somehow make their way into the script.
Unfunny joke is unfunny.
Why is this person holding a tray of food as if they're going on a lunch break when the store's closed and currently under attack?
He could just be cleaning it up. Why did you mention a lunch break? Oh, because that was the only way you could think of to justify this sin? That's dumb.
I'm gonna take the truck in exchange for not turning you in.
I'm gonna sit in the convenience of the fortune cookie truck that just happens to be in the back.
How is it convenient for a fortune cookie truck to be at a Panda Express? That's actually a very realistic coincidence.
And now we're being retina scanned?
Maybe somebody knows the answer to this, but I don't. So I'm sitting why Jerry would need to have his eyes closed for the retina scan, but Rick would not.
The answer is very obvious. Clearly, Rick has some kind of something inside him that prevents retina scans from having an effect. Now, for those of you who are going to try to bitch and moan to me about how it's not explained, I'm going to remind you that it doesn't need to be explained if it's obvious, which this is. If you would actually use your brain, you might understand these things.
Can't crack a smile? Oh, yeah, you're worried about doing it with your mom. Okay, fair enough.
That fake-ass laugh.
Sure is nice for the company to showcase torture in the adjacent conference room. You know, to be sure that our infiltrating duo can see the positive and negative impacts of the cookies without having to walk more than a few feet.
So, are you arguing that the positive and negative cookie production processes should be in completely different parts of the building instead of being consolidated? Why? That would actually be bad building setup.
Use the emergency fortunes. You'll have great success in a fight.
The cookie designed for an emergency is fight-related? What if the emergency had been a fire? If the security guard fought the fire with water, would that have fulfilled the wish? And if the wishes can be fulfilled by a more vague approach, couldn't Jerry's wish be completed with a game of poker that ends with Jerry tossing the table and exclaiming, "You me, Mom"?
These emergency cookies are obviously meant to be for specifically infiltration purposes, not something like a fire which could be handled with other fortunes elsewhere. This should be clear to you, seeing as these guys are security guards.
Why is the creepy alien handler touching the wish list with bare skin and also using this grabber thing as if it's important to not touch the paper with his fingers? I'm just trying to make sense of something simple that I can understand while the episode derails into portals and alien poop, which I do not understand.
I love how he says all of this while showing the paper being placed in the cookie. Obviously, the guy can touch the paper just fine, but can't touch the cookie itself. This isn't rocket science, my man. Just watch the fucking show.
Fortune cookies are alien poop.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would buy this on a shirt, and I'm sure that is a sin.
Discount Jeremy sends something he likes cliche.
Does the alien want that? It's not exactly what I'd call a sentient species.
Man, no.
So let me get this straight. This guy wants to f*** an alien the proper way, so he creates a your mom cookie in hopes that someone will come and investigate a highly secure evil corporation and accidentally their way to the secret area to discover the exploitation of an alien creature, which would trigger an empathetic response and encourage them to free the alien and the dirty man, allowing them to f*** in harmony forever?
Yes.
Friends picked me up in a limousine.
Being so impressed with the luxury of the car that picks you up from the airport that you're able to ignore the multiple semi-automatic weapons pointed at your back.
Discount Jeremy tries to apply logic to a cartoon ex machina.
Come on and f*** already.
At this point, I'm pretty sure Rick and Morty's simply trying to title my sex tape, but I'm not that easy. Actually, yes, I am.
Discount Jeremy makes a cringy sex tape joke that isn't funny cliche.
I just used a dark web account to hack Goldman Sachs, remove trillions of dollars, and purchase everything your company offers. Congratulations, you're officially the most successful businesswoman on Earth.
See, this is why I strongly suggest defining what success means to you before you start on a project. In this case, Rick's sudden definition of success fulfills the cookie's prophecy rather than her version of success. Totally avoidable.
So you're sinning a character for being flawed? You know, this is one of the most annoying and stupid things he does on a regular basis. Characters are not supposed to be perfect. Otherwise, we would literally not have a show in the first place.
I see that I've romanticized a wild animal, the same way Margaret Howe did when she jerked off that dolphin in the 1960s.
I mean, there's no way that actually happened. Oh, for the love of why are there pictures?
Discount Jeremy is sinning the show for a clever joke that's actually based in reality. Can you see why that's dumb?
So this guy's guts get sucked out of his body, but Rick's guts aren't sucked out of his ass. And I guess I just don't understand how much of Rick is robot or human and how that impacts his immortality.
Admits that Rick has robot parts to prevent his death here, sins it anyway.
It's a super good thing that Rick packed the nano laser printer in his arm cannon this morning and thought ahead to build the cookie ammunition chambers in the first place. What a champ. We should all strive to be more like Rick.
Hold on. He's saying the episode made a mistake by having its super genius characters do something smart? You can't make this shit up.
You will die in a plane crash and be reincarnated as a prophylactic.
David Foster Wallacing in my galaxy. You don't get to be so smart that you remove yourself from everybody. From one god being to another, you're welcome.
And in Weird Things in Space News...
Starting your episode off with blatant self-referential news positional repiping. Bold move, Rick and Morty. A bold move indeed.
You mention the self-referential nature of it, but then proceed to sin it anyway? This begs the question, do you genuinely believe that's a sin, or are you just pretending for the sake of the video? Either way, it's a sin, but I do kind of want to know.
Oh, what's it now?
I mean, if you're forcing me to send something in this thing, that flag's annoying me because there's no way there's room for the star section in that little part that's off the screen. This is just red and white stripes all the way to the pole and you know it.
This is not our universe, seeing as Rick and Morty have jumped ship on multiple universes. So if you're gonna be nitpicky about the flag, I'm gonna be nitpicky about you.
What did you do, you tiny monster?
Morty didn't do anything, but I'm still gonna issue a sin for the convenient timing of the dinosaur aliens showing up right as the teacher was accusing Morty of always bringing terrible shit like this down on the school. You know how we feel about that in these quarters.
Discount Jeremy is watching a cartoon comedy and acting as if there should never be things that happen for the sake of comedy. In a comedy. You see why that's dumb, right?
Starting your episode off with blatant self-referential news positional repiping twice in the first 2 minutes. Bold move, Rick and Morty. A bold move indeed.
Sinning the self-referential news position twice within the first minute of your video.
These aliens want Earth. They'll have to go through Egypt. And they can ask mummies how that goes.
But are we talking about the Boris Karloff mummy, the Brendan Fraser mummy?
Skip. Also, this entire sin is way too long, very boring, and at best is annoying. Not to mention he made a bunch of pop culture references. I'm gonna add 50 sins for it and accept the sin writer's thanks for not adding more. I can be a kind and forgiving dictator when I want to be.
Monkeys went bald?
Hilarious! But in what world do you know enough to know monkeys existed, but not enough to know about the development of Homo sapiens?
This one right here? You know, because he just said it.
How did these dinosaurs even get in the UN building? Did they install a dino door?
So, are you just ignoring the scene later where they show off their ability to portal? Okay.
Pretty considerate of this long neck to hold their head like this when the imaginary camera's on a close-up and then extend their neck completely for the wide shots. The imaginary cinematographer thanks you.
Everything wrong with Rick and Morty, ladies and gentlemen. The showrunners kept this dinosaur in frame.
But surely there was some point between gunpowder and something called Amazon Prime.
We don't know what Amazon Prime really is either. We just know that $130 or so disappears from our checking account every year, and that allows us to then send more money to an invisible entity that often sends something in return that we didn't even ask for.
I'm sorry, what was the point of that sin? He didn't say anything satirical, critical, or remotely funny, so now I'm just confused.
Every fridge full? But why? In a post-scarcity society like this, not only would you never have to stock up on stuff, you'd never have to cook at home either. I mean, you could if that's your thing, but I'm guessing most fridges would just sit mostly unused while everyone picked up free Five Guys.
Discount Jeremy has never heard of snacks that need to be refrigerated. In other words, he's an idiot.
See, the headline is unemployment at 100%, but someone had to write this article, someone had to print it, and someone had to distribute it. So how exactly is no one working currently?
You briefly mention a little later that it could be robots doing all these jobs, so I'm gonna sin you for your lack of consistency in this video.
Show teases us with pandas falling in a snake wearing miniskirt and doesn't follow through on either, forcing us to come through in the clutch. You're welcome.
You know what? I actually kinda like this sin. It was a breath of fresh air amongst all the dumb and unfunny stuff they usually throw at us. I mean, it certainly wasn't a laugh out loud joke, but I did crack a smile.
Does anyone know how to mail things to publishers?
Not to keep making this my hill to die on, but even if they did, who would be able to publish the book? Who would even pick up the mail? Sure, maybe it's technology of some sort, but I don't see any cool robot butlers, so I'm calling shenanigans.
If there is a possible explanation, that means it's not a sin. Just because it's never explained outright does not make it a sin either. What you're asking for is the show to go out of its way to explain something that anyone with half a brain cell can figure out for themselves.
The only thing that could make the name of this restaurant more wonderful is if Beau Bridges was the one inside cooking the food. And since that's not the case, here's a sin.
Discount Jeremy makes a Beau Bridges reference that isn't a sin of the episode cliche.
At first it was fun spending all day watching whatever YouTube autoplays after the last one autoplayed.
Insinuating it ever gets tiring letting YouTube videos autoplay. Give in to the algorithm. The algorithm loves you. The algorithm is your friend.
Unfunny joke is unfunny.
How often are you Westworlding me?
Calling it Westworlding instead of Dr. Goldfoot and the bikini machining. There's an order to these things.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture reference that isn't a sin of the episode cliche.
If you get rid of the dinosaurs, you can host the Oscars.
In a situation where one has all the leverage and said person chooses their reward to be the most thankless job on the entire planet.
Oh, sorry, I was waiting for him to say an actual sin. So far, he's just complaining that a character's desires aren't the same as his, which obviously isn't a sin. So...
Overcandling around flammable flora.
Pointing things out on the screen.
The gateways are see-through, not a green swirl, so now you can see where you're going.
I like these dino lords. Can they also help me understand how the portal automatically knows where you want to go? I mean, if you're fixing our portal sins, we might as well go ahead and fix them all.
We can safely assume that the portals somehow tap into the user's brain. Again, just because the show doesn't sit down and hold your hand doesn't mean it made a mistake. I mean, do you honestly want them to give exposition on the portal guns? Wouldn't you just sin that for being boring?
They're gonna call us Laura Dern because we're about to get elbow deep in dino doo-doo.
Yeah, let's not reference the parts where Laura Dern wards off a T-Rex and velociraptors to save kids. Let's just talk about her reaching into some which, for the record, she's doing in an attempt to save a dinosaur's life. You put some respect on Laura Dern's name, Rick.
Discount Jeremy has a boner for Laura Dern.
I said clever girl earlier. You didn't even react.
Complaining that a reference you are also explaining wasn't given its due in the past. What are you, a Cylon or something?
Yeah, we figured they used to hold huge outdoor concerts in their land amphitheater.
Maybe this is a silly theory, but the singing skull feed is way more interesting than our boring old dinosaur stories. Also, just making sure everyone caught that Cylon reference a few seconds ago. That's from Battlestar Galactica, and while I can't watch you watch this video, I could feel there was very little laughter, so I'm just bringing it up here again for no reason at all.
See what I mean when I sin him for being boring and annoying? Yeah, this is the kind of shit I'm talking about. Yes, I understand that this was done as a joke, seeing as he mentioned explaining your references and then did it himself, but it just wasn't funny. Also, Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture reference that isn't an end of the episode cliche. Also, he mentioned how their dinosaur theory is more interesting than ours, so Discount Jeremy said something he likes cliche.
The majestic basket soar! Aren't they incredible? We're even making a series of increasingly terrible movies about cloning them in a theme park.
Can't be worse than Jurassic World Dominion, so please feel free to bring the Basket Soar franchise to Earth.
Discount Jeremy makes a Jurassic World reference that isn't an end of the episode cliche.
Please. What fossils were wheel-shaped?
These ones. Am I taking him too seriously? Yes. Yes, I am. But does he deserve it because of his unfunny jokes? Yes. Yes, he does.
It appears that the Rick and Morty animators are using the repeating faceless crowd models again, which, fine, do what you gotta do, but this guy bugs me. Why is his head so big? Why is it all skin tone when others have distinct hair colors?
Calling white skin, quote-unquote, skin tone as if it's normal? That's racist.
Swan is headed directly towards us. And all of our work? It was for...
How are these ultra-evolved creatures with their godlike knowledge and wisdom unaware that they have an arch-nemesis? You know everything there is to know in the universe, except that you're being hunted by evil sentient space rocks?
Yes.
Using a perfectly beautiful slice of pepperoni pizza as a hate projectile. It's pizza, and it's delicious, and it contains every single food group, you yum-chucking waste monsters.
Unfunny joke is unfunny.
And you had no idea about the disastrous meteors that followed in your wake.
Deciding to let Anderson Cooper interview you to tell your side of the story.
Pointing things out on the screen.
Also, do the dinosaurs not watch movies? Because if they watched Armageddon, they'd save some time. There's a formula to it. A very simple formula.
That actually counts as two pop culture references, Armageddon and Scream. So 2 sins is appropriate.
I mean, no one knows if the meteor species is even real.
Deciding to let Joe Rogan interview you to tell your side of the story.
Pointing things out on the screen.
This guy created a Dinosaur Avenue sign and is replacing a current street sign just so he can graffiti the word sucks onto it. Game recognized game.
Discount Jeremy sins something he likes cliche.
Wilson! Why does Tom Hanks yelling Wilson all of a sudden sound like Dave Seville yelling at Alvin? What even is this nonsense?
A whole bunch of bullshit.
Rick has a gizmo that lets him see whatever he needs to see, even though he clearly didn't type in any commands or coordinates. Cliche.
That's not a cliche, my guy.
We're doing something selfless.
Are you, though? There's no way calculations could have been done to guarantee the safety of Earth when Mars blows up into thousands, if not millions of pieces. There is so much that could go wrong here.
Discount Jeremy tries to apply logic to a cartoon ex machina.
Somewhere in Tasmania, a devil silently weeps at the cruel theft of his native tongue.
Did he think that was funny? That's embarrassing.
Hoo-ha! Check it out.
Rick and Morty writers last a full 5 episodes without their portal gun crutch before giving up.
And that's a sin because... why? Oh, it's not? Then why did you add a sin?
A dimension where hats wear people.
Fun, but why do the hats also have the same body construction as people? Those aren't really hats then, are they? They're hat people. So technically, it's a dimension where hat people wear people is people hats. Huh. That felt good. I've missed you, Portal Gun. I've missed you so much.
Nothing that he just said was a sin. What it actually was a boring little rant that never should have been in their script.
All right. Internet porn? Check. Tissues? Check. Lotion? Check. Okay. Let's go. Aw.
Why are you looking at me? What did I do? Aren't you supposed to be playing the intro? To the meta episode of Rick and Morty? What the fuck? Oh, I get it. Is this supposed to be like the meta intro? Okay, that's a pretty cool concept, but like, I didn't get a script. What am I even supposed to say? Guys? This isn't funny. I don't know what to say. I don't have a fucking script. Alright, I guess like and subscribe. OnlyFans link in bio. Dick pics, $10. You can customize them. $5 for the nipple close-ups. That's a pretty good deal. You're not going to find that in many other places. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's, yeah. Guys, you can't just, like, leave me hanging like this. I don't have a fucking script. I don't know what to tell these people. Alright, you know what? Just cut to black.
Previously on Rick and Morty.
Previously on Before Rick and Morty committed the cardinal TV sin of having a previously on in their episode.
Skip.
Jerry, I had sex with your wife.
Not realizing Jerry would probably be less mad about this and more turned on by it. Or maybe I'm just projecting my own fetishes onto this scenario.
Discount Jeremy is a cuckold. The next 3 sins in a row are nothing more than Discount Jeremy pointing things out on the screen, which is not funny or entertaining in any way, but it is super boring.
It's raining meatballs!
And you'd think I'd do a simple quick sin here, like cloudy with a chance of Rick and Morty, but since I don't give a shit about what you think, I'm just gonna sin the fact that I've never once seen a pickup basketball game in this driveway, and that basketball goal honestly looks like it's never been used. And for the record, I do care what you think.
No, you don't. If you cared about what people thought, you would actually make good videos instead of the garbage you've been putting out for a while now. And the next 2 sins are yet more pointing things out on the screen. No wonder the CinemaSins fanbase is mainly complete idiots. They find it entertaining for a guy to literally just narrate what's happening in an episode, most likely because they're too stupid to understand it themselves. Not that the Sins writers can understand anything either, but you get my point.
And for our honeymoon, let's go to a sealed chamber lined with ionized deuterium. Why? Because the charge acts as a narrative decelerant. Morty, none of this is real.
If nothing here is real, then how would an isotope have an observable effect on the fake matter in your fake reality? Unless just saying it does the thing means it does the thing. But that would mean that name-dropping ionized Deuteronomy was an extra step, and Rick could have just said, let's go to a sealed chamber lined with a narrative decelerant.
Or maybe this show is a comedic cartoon that does the most outrageous bullshit that isn't supposed to make sense, meaning it's very stupid to be genuinely trying to criticize it in this way.
Now repeat after me, Morty. Next time on Rick and Morty.
Next time on Rick and Morty?
No, previously on Rick and Morty.
Preemptive narration to counteract the subsequent narration leads to my narration sending your narration.
Narration.
We gotta get through the opening titles!
Oh, f*** me. I didn't want to have to do this. But if the Rick and Morty writers are going to kick down the walls of their reality and attempt to make this episode unsinnable, I really have no choice but to prove to Meta-Sinverse that no episode is truly without sin. Even if that involves sinning myself. I am alive! No need to be so melodramatic.
Sorry, decreasing dramatization by 5%. Oh, shit.
Better make it 15.
You.
Perfect. Now, you just keep sending the video like that, and I think we might just get through this.
Stop talking.
Cinny, activate the sin transfer array.
Well, also you adding a sin just because you didn't like something is not really an issue with this show.
Do you honestly think you're fucking funny?
Jesus Christ, I've sat through a lot of very cringy attempts at jokes on this channel, but this one honestly might take the cake. That was horrible. The cringe was beyond unbearable. How many sins can we give that?
200,000 units are ready, with 1 million more well on the way.
Can we please hurry up with those million more? Alright, just 200,000 for now, but we'll get back to the million later.
Pretty sure that's a sugar glider and not a squirrel. And I understand most people don't know what a sugar glider is, but then just make it look like a f***ing squirrel. How hard could that be?
He says, as if Morty is knowledgeable enough to know what a sugar glider is?
Don't succumb to his pointless self-aware bullshit.
Says the king of pointless self-aware bullshit. And that may be the point, but do you know what I have to say to that?
Potato salad!
Alright, the potato salad joke is kind of funny, so I'll remove a sin. At least someone on the Sins writing team has the ability to make decent jokes once in a blue moon. That's another 2 sins for pointing things out on the screen.
Just because you have a sign that says Chekhov's guns doesn't mean that we can't sin Chekhov's guns. Because if we don't sin Chekhov's guns, then the sin doesn't come into play and it becomes Chekhov's sins, which doesn't even make sense because who's to say where and when a sin can have action? In the end, maybe it's just Chekhov's Rick and Morty, and maybe that's the point, and maybe nothing means anything, and I mean nothing. And in my being said, I'd also like to thank the writers for their sin assist with these metaphorically literal representations of narrative concepts. My job is much easier when you lay them out like this.
And why is that a sin? Care to explain why it's a sin to lay out metaphorically literal representations? No? Okay.
I mean, it's funny when I do a little nod to the viewers, but... What viewers?
Morty would be the most meta thing to ever meta at MetaSins. And if Rick and Morty continues down this path, we might just create that channel to f*** with them personally.
So, what's the sin here? At this point in the video, you may be thinking, why is this guy taking everything so seriously? This entire Sins video was a joke. But the issue with it is that, regardless of the fact that it's all a joke, almost none of it is actually funny. So, of course I'm gonna sin them for this huge missed opportunity. For real, this episode was the absolute biggest gimme for the Sins writers in terms of the sheer amount of genuinely funny jokes they could have made, but they completely dropped the ball. This shit is so frustrating and painful to watch.
None of this Season 3 moonlighting shit.
Talking about Season 3 of Moonlighting when we all know that Season 5 was the real problem. F*** you, A Womb with a View. I'll never get that hour of my life back.
Discount Jeremy goes on a mercifully short, but still very boring and pointless tangent ex machina. The next 2 sins are yet again just Discount Jeremy pointing things out on the screen. Please try to be better in the future. This shit is so boring and annoying. Also, he mentioned in the second sin here how this episode shows the Rick and Morty writer's desperation, as if this episode is bad, but he's just full of shit. Actually, he might be jealous, seeing as this episode actually manages to genuinely be funny. Either way, it's a sin.
This whole place just a bunch of groan-inducing wordplay for 7 TV critics that won't even enjoy it.
We're not critics. It's a comedy channel. A comedy channel.
If this is a comedy channel, then shouldn't you try to, actually make it funny? You know, instead of doing what you've been doing? I'm very confused by this. Also, he claims here that TVSins is just a comedy channel and that they're not actual critics, but this is bullshit seeing as he's tried and failed to critique this show and other shows plenty of times in the past. In other words, lying.
Also thinking wordplay is more groan-inducing than Wordle, and that I don't enjoy both.
Pointing things out on the screen.
Every second we spend here is the equivalent to 10 Space Jam cameos.
Sinning your own appearance in a terrible movie does not exclude us from sinning your appearance in that terrible movie. And just in case our dad's sin channel didn't sin you the first time around, we're giving you 2 here.
A whole bunch of bullshit.
I'm here, Leon.
This Deus Ex Machina riding in on Leon's prayers like some kind of literal literary Jesus cannot absolve you of your TV sins.
And you still don't know what a Deus Ex Machina is. Now, you might be thinking, but that's the joke. This entire video is all about being meta, so he's making a joke about the fact that he constantly misuses the term Deus Ex Machina. But the issue with this, as pretty much always, unfortunately, is that it's not funny.
I love a good refusal of the call.
Hey, Storylord's back! And now I'm gonna sin myself for remembering who the f*** Storylord is.
So the episode made a mistake for you remembering a character? Seriously, anyone who genuinely finds this shit funny has a terrible sense of humor.
But how could I not? This episode is a sequel to the first episode I ever appeared in the video as your narrator.
Skip?
Also, it's not like just because this is a sequel to the episode where I appeared out of thin air to start narrating that we'd go back to the original narrator for this video.
Skip? Again.
Dude, she's a hooker.
The entire second season script of White Lotus somehow makes it into the episode.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture reference that isn't a sin of the episode cliche.
Look, guys, I can believe in Jesus or the Loch Ness Monster, but not both. unless they're partners on the force who initially hate working with each other, but then learn to mutually respect one another by the end of their first murder case.
Was that supposed to be a joke?
You'll have to do better than that, my darling.
Leon, you saved our lives!
Not only did he save your lives, but he saved your lives by killing Jesus. Is there a bigger sin than killing Jesus?
Killing TVSins? Like you've been slowly and painfully doing ever since you started?
Anti-meta field.
Show has Rick create a thing using techno-magic, thereby creating a contradictory world that somehow has enough rules to make science feasible and enough creative license to make literally anything else feasible.
Cartoon. Comedy. Not supposed to make sense.
Don't try it, Flashback.
Come on. Flash Baxter was right there.
Yeah, Flashback is much better than Flash Baxter.
Runs on hydrogen isotopes.
A few barrels of petroleum should dampen it.
Run, Morty!
Show is now doing whatever it wants without regard for anything, and somehow the plot still makes sense. So I should probably remove a sin, but instead I'm adding one.
Discount Jeremy sins something he likes cliche.
Were those not there before? Guess there's been a continuity error.
Acting as if continuity errors are a part of storytelling. May as well include Typo Mary and Karma Splice. But the way Rick and Morty's bodies and clothes heal, they may have a point.
See, this whole sin was really just a cover-up for the fact that CinemaSins used to be a channel for pointing out continuity errors, but has now devolved into a boring group of boring people saying boring things.
They really went all in on Nessie and these different continuities, didn't they? Nessie's quickly becoming the David S. Pumpkins of Rick and Morty, or at least we can hope. Or do we not want that to happen? Can we flash back to what I was saying the other day? Where did God about mythical creatures if they ever started?
Also, Discount Jeremy makes a David S. Pumpkins reference that isn't the sin of the episode cliche.
Got him in a cell made out of sports because it's the opposite of story.
Tell that to the producers of Drive to Survive.
Hey, would you look at that? Another pop culture reference. Yay!
But his name is Brett Kahn. I think Brett's a name too. His name could be Rhett Kahn.
Naming a character Brett Kahn for no other reason than getting in your retcon joke.
Discount Jeremy seems to be forgetting that this show is a comedy and everything that happens is supposed to be for the sake of jokes.
What is my purpose?
To wait until I tell you to pull the lever.
Retconning Butter Robot to have never passed the butter.
Pointing things out on the screen. Again.
If you don't free me right now, Rick, I can make very, very bad things. Always have been the case for you.
If Rhett the Hitman Khan can affect Rick's story while he's in this cage, why would he make very bad things have always been the case, instead of just making Rick have always opened the door?
Maybe it's because the cage doesn't allow him to make people open the door, but he can do other things with his powers? Or maybe it doesn't matter because this is a cartoon.
Show severely underexplains how Rick and Morty got from the orange that just became all of existence to this frozen tundra.
So you wanted them to sit down, look at the camera, and give us some expository narration? I mean, in an episode like this, that's not the most ridiculous thing possible, but it's still a fairly stupid sin.
I'm Joseph Campbell.
Making me think of Heart of Darkness, even though you're Joseph Campbell, who I often get confused with Joseph Conrad.
Another pop culture reference. Surprise, surprise.
I'm pregnant. What are you doing? It wasn't him, Rick.
Then who?
Bearded Rick thinks Joseph Campbell impregnated a bearded Morty, so he tries to drown him in a bucket of water. Improv the rest, is how I imagine this scene was written.
Now, that's just an excuse for you to verbally describe what is happening on screen because for some reason you think it's funny to do so.
Wait, hold on. Is he admitting that he thinks it's funny to point things out on the screen? Holy shit, he is. You fucking dumbass. You just admitted that you have a shit sense of humor and are totally incompetent. Damn. Where are those million sins you promised me earlier?
When you get home, Rick, do some classic adventures, like season 1.
I'm so sick of that f***ing note. What the f*** does it even mean?
That fake-ass laugh.
Cubicles.
One of the writers had a job with a cubicle one time, and now they make the same tired joke every time a row of them pops up on screen.
You know what? I've had enough of you.
No, I want to live!
Let's never do that again.
You finally said something logical. Of course, you shouldn't have put all that bullshit in this video in the first place, so I can't remove any sins, but I am proud of you for at least admitting it was terrible.
Wait, you have to register?
The real joke isn't that this alien is too unmotivated to register to look at porn, it's that he's going to a site where you have to register for porn. He's bad at porn.
Discount Jeremy probably has a boner. I mean, let's be honest, people. He probably has the world's only infinite boner.
I don't take notes.
Rick and Morty writers constantly reminding us they don't care about feedback while constantly making episodes directly related to said feedback.
Discount Jeremy points things out on the screen cliche.
You failed me.
Storylord is not only still alive, but still able to talk after being inflicted with a massive head wound Harry. Look, if you're going to make weird and dated references, Rick and Morty, then I'm going to make weird and dated references. It's my right. And at least I'd never stoop to having Joseph f***ing Campbell in my story, mainly because I don't know who Joseph Campbell is.
Tangents, rants, boring bullshit. Excitement? What the? Why do you keep cutting to me? I don't have the sentence. I don't like, nobody gave me a script for this video. I don't know what the sentence is. Anybody? I'm willing to take suggestions. I don't know what to do.
Mom spaghetti.
Hey,
You want a piece of piss?
if that's your stupid, rude way of saying I have to fight you, I will.
Take your shot, pussy.
Don't talk to me that way. Go away.
Make me.
Go away.
Dick so small, make 2 inches look big as fuck. Ouch. It ain't cold, but my shit looks so shriveled up. Yup. I want big nuts. This tiny shit sucks. I'm tryna push my luck. Extendos in my cup. Blue pill, help my cause. Can't get it up, cause my dick so small. Check my phone, ain't got no call. Leave me on red, cause my dick ain't tall. Wait, what she want from me? She live right down the hall from me. I just want some honesty. She said that I ain't got no deep. Bitch, yes I do. Tiny dick, tiny dick, tiny dick, tiny dick.
Scene does not contain an adult swimming.
Sin does not contain a legitimate critique, a funny joke, or anything of value whatsoever.
I can't hold them off, Rick!
I love a strong cold open, but would it kill the show to just once begin at the start of an adventure? Just once. I swear linear storytelling is starting to become the new non-linear storytelling, and no one wants that.
After having done an episode entirely dedicated to being meta, you'd think that the Sins writers would understand these types of jokes, where Rick and Morty directly contradicts something they stated in an earlier season. But nope, it goes right over their heads.
Get it? He's shelling the beach? But if you designed a weapon to shoot seashells, wouldn't the barrel shape need to be more seashell shaped?
On what planet does the barrel of a weapon need to be the shape of the projectile? What kind of lettuce are you smoking? Cause that shit makes you dumb. So long as the barrel is large enough, there's no issue with the shell launching from it.
Your fortress is a salty waste of coral and clam.
Disney didn't even attempt to incorporate any of Mr. Nimbus into their version of Namor.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture reference that isn't a sin of the episode cliche.
Also, I'm sure I wasn't the only one who recognized this guy enough to know that it was a callback, but not enough to remember that it's supposed to be Rick's arch nemesis, without Googling it, of course. This probably means the show is either doing too many callbacks or not calling back to things I care about.
Or maybe it just means that you're too stupid to remember the people that the show brings back.
Sorry I had to blow up your bunker.
Close, but the correct answer was, sorry I had to blow up your bunker while you were still f***ing inside it and with barely enough time to escape, child of my child.
Okay, cool. And what's the sin here? Wait, but I thought you were going to explain what the sin here is for. You're not? Then why did you say anything to begin with?
It is I, Cookie Magneto.
Show plays superhero Mad Libs and disguises it as being clever. This will never stand, at least if, Bocce Ball Kitty Pride has anything to say about it. Okay, fine, it's harder than it seems, but I'm still saying how easy it seems.
What was the point of that? That whole sin was just really cringy and awkward. There was nothing critical or funny about it, so why did you leave it in the video?
I'm sorry, do you control things that people agree are cookies?
And does that mean you have barely any powers in England where they call most of them biscuits? Sorry, just adding my 2 cents to the ever-growing examples of Morty being excellent at TVSins.
By pointing out things that don't matter? Yes, you are annoying. I mean, excellent at TVSins. Same thing, really.
Being that therapist who has an abstract painting of what is clearly a boob on your wall just so I'll point it out and then you can analyze my maternal issues and make me think I'm the one who's just seeing boobs everywhere. That is a boob, you piece of So, about my mom.
Ha ha ha. He said boobies. He funny because boobies funny. Ha ha ha. That's how I imagine the average TVSins fanboy reacts to, for lack of a better word, the jokes like that. However, those of us with at least half a brain cell do not find this cringy waste of time funny because it's awkward and stupid.
I'm a walking target for a never-ending sea of angry nerds that think getting in a fight with me is some kind of, I don't know, platform.
Is he still looking over here?
Skip.
So where's all that urine even coming from? He's got enough of a steady stream to create upward propulsion of his machine while still hosing down the house with a separate deluge. I don't care how much prostament he's running through that thing. There's no way he's getting that kind of flow.
Not that I'm surprised at this point, but this is a cartoon, buddy. It's not supposed to make sense, which means that your quote-unquote joke of taking it too seriously is not funny and is just really cringy.
With these two fighting, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be rooting for the pants-pissing, ugly-faced, whiny guy or Pissmaster. All these people who are videoing this, I'm going to say, fight instead of calling the police. I'm not saying filming wouldn't be happening, but I'd like to think a piss-powered alien pummeling a subpar parent would be worthy of calling a higher power before publishing your picture.
Yeah, you've clearly never met anyone from my generation. People my age would much rather let the alien kill them than call the police, so long as it got them a few TikTok views.
Apology we've been asking for from this show for the last 6 seasons comes out of the mouth of a character named the Pissmaster.
Discount Jeremy points things out on the screen cliche.
And you're getting a lot of hand clap emojis on white Twitter's impression of black Twitter.
That fake-ass laugh.
Whoa, it's sticky.
Yeah, that means it's found a pure heart it wants to bond with.
Wild. My orbs do the exact same thing.
Discount Jeremy makes a cringy sexual joke that isn't funny cliche.
You guys saw my son-in-law on the news. Now he gets a sticky orb. What's the catch? We're not rubes.
Yeah, your power is well known in our jurisdiction, Rick Sanchez.
Jerry is bestowed with a magic orb that Rick doesn't qualify for because of his infamy in the galaxy. But if they've heard of Rick's exploits, shouldn't they at least have a vague knowledge of an incompetent human that is sometimes with him who inspires calamity and disappointment just by leaving his bedroom and realize he's unworthy of any orbs too? Yes, it'd be quicker to just say we hate Jerry, but I think this is more fun.
Well, you were unfortunately wrong about that, because that whole tangent was very boring and pointless. But regardless, they clearly don't know how incompetent Jerry is, seeing as they gave him an orb. Your questions would be answered if you would simply watch what's happening on screen.
The orb is raw power. Trust your heart, Jerry. It will know what to do.
All-powerful item that doesn't have any fixed rules, but instead relies on the power inside you, and for once, can we just be told how things work instead of this hand-wavy emotional BS? Cliche.
First, that's not a cliche. And second, do you seriously want these dudes to sit down, stare into the camera, and start explaining in detail how the orbs work, where they came from, and what they are? Really? You're an idiot.
Here's your goddamn suit. I hardwired the orb's infinite energy right into it.
Giving Jerry this much power, even if it is to prove a point to a piece of teenager.
Pointing things out on the screen. Even if it is just to make money from your idiotic fan base.
This shooty thing looks cool.
That shooty thing is a nuclear disruptor that can blow up planets.
Okay, I get making the suit to shut everyone up and let Jerry have his time in the superhero spotlight, but arming the suit with a f***ing arm-mounted planet killer was 100% your choice, Rick. Jerry would have been content if the thing had a built-in TV remote, soda hat, and fidget spinner.
Remember, buddy, this is a cartoon. Rick giving Jerry a weapon that can destroy planets is a purposeful exaggeration of reality. Can you remember all of that very complicated information? No, I didn't think so either.
Auf Wiedersehen, bad guys.
I don't deny that the galaxy's most evil entities would take up the mantle of Space Hitler, but I do find it hard to believe their conference for all things evil would be so easy to find and destroy by Operation Valk Jerry over here.
I mean, to be fair, it's probably the suit that's doing 90% of the work.
And there were no other people on the planet.
Are you sure? Because that looks like quite an infrastructure for just a handful of Hitlers. Who were their assistants? Where did they eat? Who ran the internet so that they could leave comments on YouTube videos?
It doesn't matter because this is a cartoon and that news broadcast was a joke, very much like your entire channel. The only difference is that the joke in the show was actually funny.
You gotta be f***ing kidding me.
You mean the fact that we haven't seen the Smith family for setting up the couch in the dead center of the room and obstructing possible traffic flow? I know, right? Or maybe we have. You know what? We've literally seen every episode of this show, so I don't even know anymore. I don't know that it's a sin, but I just want to know more about the booby doodle, okay? It raises many questions both about this therapist and the writers who put it there that we just never get answered.
More talking about boobs like a middle schooler trying to be funny. Are we laughing yet? Okay, now everyone who's capable of reading above a first grade level, stop saying yes.
The council said I could pick my own bridge crew.
Having free reign on your bridge crew and not even stopping to consider Patrick Stewart for a single solitary second.
Discount Jeremy makes a Star Trek reference that isn't a sin of the episode cliche.
Oh me, oh my, can it be? A giant piece of shit I see?
Creating a baddie takes effort and time.
Skip.
Rick will now walk in on a dead pissmaster who's taken his own life because this show has handled tough subject matter so well in the past. Why wouldn't they try it again?
Correct. And why is that a sin? I mean, if you wanted to sin it for being handled poorly, you could have, but you didn't because you just ended the sin right there. It's almost like the Sins writers are afraid of the topic that the show has opened up in this episode and therefore skirted around it by not explaining the specifics of how it was handled, but it would have been a lot more interesting for them to have actually gone into depth on the portrayal of suicide in this episode. In other words, they don't give a shit about making quality content, they only care about pumping out as many videos as possible.
Dad,
Mom told me you weren't responding to her calls.
And this will be the turning point leading Rick into the Pissmaster Rehabilitation Project. Is the show Trojan Horsing a Rick Rehabilitation Project into an episode about a Pissmaster Rehabilitation Project? It doesn't matter. I'm not buying either.
Why not? Again, you just made a claim and then didn't back it up, so how can I buy your claim? Why am I supposed to simply believe you without any explanation? It's not as if you're any kind of authority on any subject whatsoever, except maybe being an idiot, so I'm gonna need to see some proof before I agree with you here.
Okay, honey, we're good.
This, barely putting any effort into a disguise, works for the rest of the episode.
Discount Jeremy points things out on the screen. And remember, this is a cartoon, so that's not a sin regardless.
Make sure you tell everybody Pissmaster saved you.
Out of guilt for being tangentially responsible for Pissmaster's suicide, Pissle Rick decides to create his own Pissmaster suit and send him out in a blaze of glory, instead of going back in time and convincing Jerry's mother that going on a date with Jerry's father is in no one's best interest.
He's mentioned before how he hates time travel, so I don't know what your point is here. Maybe you just wanted everyone to know that you haven't been paying attention to the show? I mean, you do act like an obnoxious, spoiled first grader, so that actually kind of makes sense.
Thinking there's more to this world than news, entertainment, life, and video.
Pointing things out on the screen.
Now I'm gonna make a giant bomb, plant it in a city, and then have the suit autopilot the bomb into space. Boom! Everyone will think Pissmaster sacrificed himself.
As powerful as the arts of theatricality and deception are to the uninitiated, it's still a bad idea to model your convoluted plans on disappointing comic book movie climaxes.
Most Marvel fans would probably agree that the climax of that movie was not disappointing. The movie overall has an 8 on IMDb and a 91 on Rotten Tomatoes. A little research could have saved you from sounding ignorant in that sin.
I'm tempted to second guess a lot of that, but I think you might be nailing it.
Wait, what? The man just told you he's going to plant a bomb and hope the suit can save the day, and your response is therapy FTW.
That's the joke.
He's Pissmaster.
People change, Jerry.
Thinking that because it's possible for people to change, then it means we're required to let them back into our lives.
Pointing things out on the screen. Again. The next 2 sins in a row have some very stupid content. One of the main points of the first sin was that Discount Jeremy doesn't want to suspend his disbelief despite the fact that he's literally watching a cartoon. That alone has to be one of the dumbest things he's ever said. He also went into a short, but still very boring rant about elephants and then also sinned the show for not acknowledging that adults can be orphans too, which has nothing to do with the episode whatsoever. All of this combined bullshit deserves 20 sins.
Why would Rick even prop me up like that?
Jesus, Jerry, Rick did something nice for once, okay? He's obviously trying to change.
You mean, obviously the show is trying some sort of redemption story arc that has never worked in the past and isn't working now. The man discards people and worlds like toilet paper, uses them to clean up his own shit, and then casually eliminates them. I bet he doesn't even look at them before he flushes. What? That's what people do. How are you supposed to know if you're clean?
Rick's character has been consistently shown to be conflicted. Yes, he's a piece of shit, but he also still has the ability to do good and regret his mistakes. The show continuing to do this is not a sin. You only think it is because you don't think it's possible for people to change, and your policy is, fuck Rick, he sucks, regardless of what happens in the show. Yes, Rick should be held accountable for his mistakes, but he should also be held accountable for his good deeds.
The good act does not wash out the bad, nor a bad the good.
Also, after he said all that ignorant shit about Rick, he made an immature poop joke that wasn't funny, so here's 5 more sins. The next 2 sins are both classic throwaways designed to waste our time until the episode is over, so 2 more sins feels appropriate.
Your ad said you do wet work.
That's correct. I urinate on other men for money.
Dear fellow, I choose this moment to surrender my sword so that you may succeed me as the newest Knight of the Sun.
What? Morty, don't take the sword.
You know these guys?
I know how they're dressed and how boring this sounds. You take that sword, you're gonna get sucked into a whole complicated... Oh!
I mean, if that kid's not gonna take the sword...
He didn't offer it to you.
Why are we waiting in line for food?
Rick asks this instead of the very obvious, why are we waiting in this wildly inefficient line for food? Look.
Skip.
What a wonderful thing to say.
I was merely inspired by the wonderful thing you said.
The comment section of every TVSins video somehow makes it into the episode. Now, for those of you who haven't paused, I know you're the ones that have been leaving the comments, and I see what you write, and I would just like to say, thank you! Your adoration for my brilliantly executed wit and expertly crafted comedy stylings is obviously expected, but still appreciated nonetheless. So the sin, as always, is me being excellent at TV sins.
This entire sin has an utter lack of self-awareness. All the current Sins writers absolutely suck at their jobs, and very few of their videos ever have genuinely funny jokes. It makes me sad, especially when I hear a sin like this, where he clearly thinks he's good at this.
Well, at least the mystery of the long line has been solved. What kind of assholes go to a food truck to order this many, burrito sub-witches?
Everything wrong with Rick and Morty, ladies and gentlemen. Superhuman knights eat a lot of food.
How nice it will be for you to eat what you were willing to stand in line for so much sooner.
Trying to incept the idea into someone's head that they should be happy about the way you've treated them because of how you feel about it.
That's literally not what Inception is. Inception is planting an idea in someone's head and making them think it's their own original idea, which is not what they just did.
Fellow. Littering the ground with your unwrapped lettuce-filled, Hot Pockets?
Pointing things out on the screen.
Chainmail that is this ineffective against a sword.
Chainmail is designed to protect the wearer against slashing movements, not stabbing. If you had said something about Morty not realistically being strong enough to make this work despite that fact, it would have been closer to being valid, but still pretty stupid seeing as this is a cartoon.
Whoa, wait a minute. Rewind that shit. Without a word of warning, Sir David of Mitchell is either teleported out of the blue by an external force causing him to drop the food, or he deliberately drops the food and teleports them back to the sun. Either way, what the was the point of this trip if all the food has been left behind?
They didn't mean to leave the food behind? Very obviously? Seriously, dude, are you 3 years old or something?
Why did Rick put this portal on the floor? We've seen portals appear out of thin air many times, so it's not like they require a physical surface like portals. If he'd used it normally, then he and Morty could have run through it without stopping. 6 seasons! 6 seasons this has been bugging me.
And it still doesn't matter any more than it did in the first season, so this sin is pointless and stupid. Also, Discount Jeremy makes a portal reference that isn't a sin of the episode cliche.
Our lives are never ending, but not even in the dumb vampire way where after a while you hate it.
Well, that's a pretty bold statement to make. Are you speaking on behalf of everyone? Even what looks like peasants who don't get fancy armor and swords? And how can this be something you truly know until you've lived for millions of years and are endlessly suffocating through the heat death of the universe?
This entire sin is yet another example of the Sins writers taking the show way too seriously, which they think is funny, inexplicably, and their fans also think is funny as a result of, I don't know, probably some variety of brain disease. But regardless, the sin is for this being bullshit and not funny.
It is the home of the solar scepter, around which all worlds revolve. The men who keep it safe are admired by all and live as gods.
Admired by all? Then how the is Morty only just hearing about them? We'll learn that there are people living on all the planets of the solar system, all of whom are aware of the Sun Knights, yet the most populated planet in the solar system hasn't got a clue?
Correct. And the sin is what, exactly? Are you going to explain? No? Okay.
It's a terrific and painful sacrifice we all make for the most important and powerful job in the universe.
Careful how you're throwing the word universe around, sir. You're not even the best drummer in the Beatles.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture reference that isn't a sin of the episode cliche.
I'm a drunk, I'm a psychopath, I'm a murderer.
Rejected lines from Meredith Brooks' 1997 hit song somehow make their way into this episode.
Hey, that's 2 in a row.
The show's acting like Morty's more upset by the singing of these knights than he is by the fact that they only have honey to put on their pancakes. Jerry, Beth, and Summer all appear to be chewing and swallowing despite having a plate of intact pancakes. Why is breakfast such a challenge for this show?
The honey bottle could be full of syrup, or they also might just prefer honey on their pancakes over syrup. As for the chewing, who's to say they didn't eat something from the kitchen that wasn't pancakes before they came into the dining room? The point I'm making here is that these breakfast sins are stupid, remarkably boring, and very annoying. As such, 5 sins feels appropriate.
Yeah, so there you have it. Traditions suck ass and your most foundational beliefs are total bullshit.
Morty's lecture, though strikingly similar to the experience of taking a college-level history course, for some reason includes a diagram that presents all of the planets on the same orbital ellipse. And a room full of space travelers lets him get away with this.
Morty is clearly just simplifying the solar system in order to make his job of drawing it that much easier. Seriously, how have you gotten this far in life while being this incredibly stupid?
I just used your computer phone to search despair.
Bullshit, you did. This phone is clearly on the History of New York podcast, and even if the rim prices there are bad enough to have this pop up when you search despair, it's certainly not the first hit, or even above the site with the demotivational posters.
Okay. All he said was that he searched despair. He didn't say that he clicked the very first link. What the hell is your point?
So if Rick and Morty need spacesuits on the moon, are we saying that the asteroid at the start of the show had a atmosphere.
Yes.
But also, the animators let this scar migrate from the left in this shot to the right in this shot. So I have to add a sin again because they gave me the opportunity to do so.
Finally, a genuine sin. Somebody on their writing staff can occasionally say something good. Maybe there's hope after all.
Don't I have, authority over this Sons of the Moon meeting?
Looks like Morty went to the King Viserys school of asserting your authority.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture reference that isn't a sin of the episode cliche.
Santa? What the hell is that? I'm the Earl of Earth, goddammit!
The Earl of Earth has no idea who Santa is. How can you be the Earl of Earth and not understand the true meaning of Christmas?
I'm assuming this was a shitty attempt at a joke, so my sin here is either for it not being funny or for him continuing to ignore the fact that this show is a cartoon and therefore isn't supposed to make sense.
Venus questions the legitimacy of this king's authority.
I've been trying to put my finger on why this episode isn't quite landing for me, and then this line suddenly hit me like an unannounced 10-year time jump. I think the episode shot for Game of Thrones but accidentally landed in House of the Dragon. Now, there's a chance that they sabotage their own episode as a meta way to have a pop at how boring the Thrones concept is in and of itself. But that would be like me publishing this video without any of the punchlines, and I get accused of doing that enough as it is.
In my House of the Dragon videos, I gave Discount Jeremy 1000 sins every time he called the show boring, because it's a lie. The show was not boring in the slightest. He was simply too stupid, ignorant, and childish to enjoy it, so I feel like upholding that tradition here is perfectly fitting.
Writers realized there was no British noble title that began with the letter N, so they just gave Neptune a silly voice and called it a day.
Discount Jeremy points things out on the screen cliche.
We won't dare play the song out of fear of angering some pink guy, but Goodbye Blue Sky is currently soundtracking the Solar War. So the sin, as always, is Ruby Tuesday.
A whole bunch of bullshit.
Is ye old neutral zone on the moon? If so, why are the Sons of the Moon okay with this? And if it's because the Sons of the Moon moved all their operations to the sun, why haven't we started referring to them as the Sons of the Sun?
Nobody cares, except your idiotic fanboys, of course. I usually tell people to turn their brains off while watching the show, but he's already done that. Permanently, in fact. So I guess my advice to him would be to simply shut his dumb mouth and learn how to actually be funny. The next 3 sins in a row are all boring, stupid, and not funny. It's honestly kind of impressive how they can go 3 sins in a row without saying anything of note or value.
What is this? Vat of acid again?
We weren't thinking it was vat of acid again till you brought it up. Then we did think it was vat of acid again because you brought it up. Then we thought it was less about doing vat of acid again and more about doing self-referential callbacks because you think we love that shit. Then we thought maybe we'd like it if you did do vat of acid again because as it turns out, we might love that shit. And then we thought maybe vat of...
Also, at the end of this sin, he started singing, so Discount Jeremy tries to sing in a video cliche.
Morty, this family's got enough clones and robots in it.
I'm not sure if Rick is using "in it" as an American way to confirm that one or more of their family members are robots, or if he's using the British slang "in it" as a bit of filler to elicit agreement from Morty. But what I do know is that this episode has far too many not funny jokes in it.
Ironic.
On the sun has turned our veins into triple bonded carbon. So try this tale on for size, Mortaniel. We can't OD!
Well, sure, triple blotted veins will do the trick, but didn't you guys say you were immortal and only died when you chose to? Wouldn't that be a pretty solid defense as well?
I mean, just because they're immortal doesn't mean they can't OD. Not all overdoses kill you. Most are lethal, but most is not the same as all. Although to be fair, I wouldn't expect someone of Aaron's intelligence to understand that.
Also, who, while on a sun-adulterated heroin binge, stops for any amount of time to confirm the composition of their veins?
These guys. You know, seeing as they did exactly that. Why are you asking questions that are answered in the show?
I'll give you a fake with 3 layers of failsafes.
Yeah, but if 2 of those failsafes start rubbing against each other, it could really undermine the whole endeavor.
Discount Jeremy makes a cringy genitalia joke that isn't funny cliche.
Also, why not just let Morty cut his dick off and then grow it back for him later? Not that I want to see this. I'm just saying, we've seen Rick grow parts of bodies, clone entire bodies, and change the entire genetic makeup of a species multiple times. Growing back 1 penis should be a cakewalk.
See, the one tiny little problem with this suggestion here is that he seems to be forgetting that cutting off your penis would be slightly painful. Like, maybe just a little bit of pain could potentially be involved in that process. I mean, I'm not an expert or anything, so maybe I'm completely wrong. It could be a completely painless process to cut off your genitalia, but I just think that maybe there might be a little bit. So why in the hell did you write this suggestion in your script and then keep it in the video? Are the Sins writers literally just a group of baboons putting in minimal effort?
You're gonna make your so fake, buddy.
Is a thing Rick said to his grandson in this episode.
And a thing that you pointed out because you thought it would be funny to do so. But as almost always, you were wrong.
signal! Sir, the Knights of the Sun are once more!
Everyone starts destroying their weapons as soon as the sun signal starts without confirming that all of their enemies are doing the same or that peace is actually at hand. This is like ending your crime spree in Gotham after seeing the bat signal without confirming that Batman isn't just tied up with the Joker or some shit. Okay, it's not exactly like that, but at some point the criminals of Gotham should realize that the fucking bat signal doesn't mean shit for them. And if Batman is chasing after petty thieves, then he should look at where he's dedicating his resources. I mean, why does he even attend bank robberies in progress? All the fucking money is insured anyway. The does the bank care?
Boring!
Also, this entire sin was just so boring and stupid, I feel like another 10 sins here is appropriate.
Did your covert disguiser really need that very visual notification that it's been turned off?
Discount Jeremy fails to understand things that are done for the sake of the audience ex machina.
Whoa, a sunspot! What where?
Something, something, something. Morty's pixelated clone slinkies down the stairs. Improv the rest, is how I imagine this scene was written.
Hermader, I think I'm funny even though I'm not, is how I imagine this video script was written.
Okay, well, go on through. And of course, by prosthetic, we mean witchcraft.
A little witch is funny and all, but this was clearly designed for a humorous reveal and not to actually fool anyone.
Discount Jeremy sins something he likes cliche.
Even checked with a royal ladle to ensure it was real sun, not just them hiding beneath in a vat of fake sun.
Show thinks it's funny that it was vat of acid again this entire time.
And it's still funnier than anything you've put out in a very long time, so hypocrisy is hypocritical.
Coming right up. 3 losums.
How about 10 years in jail?
Oh, shit. If you were about to arrest him for trafficking these creatures, did you have to open with ordering some to be eaten?
Skip.
Me mind on fire! Me soul on fire, feeling hot, hot, hot!
Holy crap! I hate to say it, but I wish there was something to attack.
Yeah, it's too bad nobody bought a cart of fruit.
You beautiful son of a bitch!
This is what they want. I'm the one coming with an icy tongue. Frostbite gun, might get dumb. Hypothermia got until they mind go dumb like. Hold that thought. I need to light my blunt. Look, I might be right and I like to fight, but I'm way too high. Better bite my tongue.
Right here, butt fart.
Ooh, that was awesome!
Right?
Skipping your cold open and intro. How dare they change the format of their own show?
You know what? This joke is actually pretty clever. It's a nice little meta intro to the video, and I've honestly got to give some props to whoever thought of it.
I see the lights Jerry hung around the roof of the house in Rattlestar Galactica are no longer part of the arrangement. So here's a sin for pissing all over Christmas traditions. And here's another sin for pissing all over continuity. And here's a third sin for, well, just pissing in general.
Discount Jeremy makes a cringy pee joke that isn't funny cliche. Also, that entire sin was incredibly stupid. Just because Jerry put up a different and more complex Christmas lights array in a previous episode doesn't mean he'd do the exact same thing now. Do you not remember what happened to him when he put up that display? Yeah, it actually makes sense that he didn't do it again.
Rick Sanchez here with gifts from across the multiverse.
Come on, people. St. Richolas was right there.
Skip.
So, pandering to the misguided idea that your captive audience will appreciate you traveling the vast multiverse to acquire gifts that they think they'll love while failing to realize the hollowness that often comes with obtaining things you once thought were unobtainable. Or, more simply, pulling a multiverse of madness.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture reference that isn't a sin of the episode cliche.
Jerry, an extra-dimensional version of Miracle on 34th Street.
I love the idea that in the entire multiverse, the best gift Rick could find for Jerry was a movie. It brings me comfort knowing that there just isn't the technology out there to give him a tolerable personality or a few extra brain cells.
He said he loved it, so Discount Jeremy sins something he likes cliche. Also, complaining about somebody having an intolerable personality and being really stupid is very hypocritical coming from you. And as we all know, hypocrisy is hypocritical.
Also, is that a VHS tape? And for the people young enough to ask, what the is a VHS tape? Watch your language and get the off my lawn.
Yes, it is a VHS tape. And what's the sin here? He didn't say anything critical or funny in this sin, so I don't understand why they left it in the video.
Morty's only going to use this very honorable weapon in designated Jedi zones.
Hearing this caused the media object between my ears that Jerry is missing to wonder, how did this lightsaber make it into the very not Jedi, not Disney designated zone of Rick and Morty? Wait, does Disney own Rick and Morty? All right, let me see here. Okay, we've got Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon. Hi, guys. Thanks for watching. Cartoon Network, Warner Brothers. Oh, no. Oh, no. Damn you, Discovery.
Everything wrong with Rick and Morty, ladies and gentlemen. The show is owned by a company.
Here, I'll do it myself.
No!
I know that for the most part, Rick and Morty fly by the seat of their AI-controlled pants, but on this occasion, I really think there should have been some firm ground rules in place before laser sword playtime. Simple things like no running in the house, or no arguing over who gets to use it next, or no leaning on one of the greatest weapons in pop culture history to make your finale more entertaining.
So you wanted the show to go out of its way to do something that would not fit the characters at all? That doesn't sound right.
Haphazardly storing the able-to-slice-through-metal laser death stick right next to your definitely not stronger than metal taint-adjacent intangibles.
Haphazardly pointing things out on the screen right next to a bunch of meaningless and unfunny joke sins.
Okay, we overshot it. Good problem to have. Still doing the ear roll?
I told you we should have gone to 10.
No, Morty, not 10.
Rick is right on the money here, and how does Morty not see that? Obviously, there's a very important story-based reason for Morty to go to floor 10, but labeling the button with a sign that says Morty should definitely not go here at any point during the finale would have felt less contrived than making Morty a total dumbass.
What kind of crack are you smoking? Morty has always been a dumbass, with only momentary flashes of intelligence. That's pretty much the basis for his entire character. Well, that and the fact that he loves jerking off.
Rick! You dumb f***ing robot. You had one job.
A job that you dumb f***ing human, could have made a whole lot easier by not putting an unsecured stop to your secret lab in the f***ing elevator. Why does this lab even have an entrance to stumble upon? We're expected to believe that Rick would rely on a Rickbot to keep people away instead of just putting this lab somewhere completely void of life, like the moon, an asteroid, or Jerry's skull.
Rick wanted to use his lab at the house because it would have taken a crazy amount of work to make another just as good one elsewhere. It's a very simple answer. Besides, asking why it has an entrance is just really dumb.
You gave him a f***ing lightsaber for Christmas? It's almost like someone designed me to be 22% more thoughtful than you.
He f***ing lightsaber is his definition of 22% more thoughtful? How is gifting one of the coolest pieces of technology ever created equate to 22% more thoughtful than putting your grandchild at risk on a near daily basis? Move aside, Morty. I'll put up with living in the anus of a space lizard if it means I get a f***ing lightsaber.
Everything wrong with Rick and Morty, ladies and gentlemen. Lightsabers are awesome.
Presidential Blackhawk is landing on the lawn.
Who dropped a lightsaber perfectly vertical?
How close do the Smiths live to the damn White House? I can buy that the president is somehow monitoring their house for shenanigans, but he managed to get here within minutes of going sideways.
Wait, you don't think that's possible? For the president to show up at the house within minutes? Dude, they've already got the birds spying on us, and most of the sheeple out there got the microchip jab. None of this should really be a surprise, you hear? Now, where's my sister? I'm feeling horny.
You know what's in the hilt of that thing?
Kyber crystals!
Okay, nerd.
I mean, right? Plus, it's not Kyber crystals. The lightsaber's power source is clearly the incoherent ramblings of a man who, 20 years after, didn't realize he'd made the greatest movie ever and decided he needed to keep tampering with it like a little kid and make Han Solo not be the kind of guy who shoots first.
I mean, obviously I agree with him that Han shot first, but that's a sin of that movie, not this show.
Whatever it is, when it hits the core, it's going to cause a chain reaction that destroys the Earth.
How the f*** do they know what effect a fictional gadget's going to have on the planet's core? And how does this thing even exist?
Let me stop you right there. You're about to go on a long, very boring rant that isn't funny or credible in terms of criticism, because this is a cartoon. Besides, towards the end of the sin, he admits that within the context of the multiverse, all of this is technically possible. So this entire sin is just utter bullshit and deserves 5 sins.
If I wanted the government in my house, I'd buy an Alexa.
Right? What kind of an idiot would be dumb enough to do that? Hey, Google, is the government listening to me?
I'm singing a song. I'm your assistant and I'm singing la 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 la.
That's so f***ing cool.
Unfunny joke is unfunny. Also, even though it wasn't Discount Jeremy doing the singing, it still wasn't pleasant to listen to. So, also, that fake-ass laugh.
I'm no expert, but it seems we got a certain amount of time to build a big drill ship.
Saying this when there's a literal time remaining counter behind you.
That's the joke.
Good luck finding a good scientist on Christmas!
I mean, Christmas doesn't take away a good scientist's ability to be good, does it? And yes, I'm sure he meant to say, good luck finding a good scientist to come down here on Christmas, but he didn't say that, and I'm the type of grinchy asshole to make sure that gets pointed out.
So you're admitting that you're an annoying asshole who thinks he's funny but isn't? Okay then, here's 10 more sins for kind of recognizing your shortcomings and refusing to change.
All right, genius. I give you permission to make our drill ship fast.
Calling someone a genius who's adorned in nothing more than a lab coat and boxer shorts while playing with a yo-yo. Then you say, but Mr. Narrator, yo-yos are fun. And then I say, watch your language and get the f*** off my lawn.
I'm sorry, did he think that was funny? Damn, that's embarrassing.
Vertisaber, state your prime directive.
To stay vertical.
And yet Vertisaber will almost immediately not be vertical.
Discount Jeremy points things out on the screen cliche.
Progress report. Vertisaber, do you copy?
Do I have to respond every time?
I know this is leading to a joke about the dangers of AI technology becoming too clever to follow our orders, but is Rick really dumb enough to instigate this? He's looking directly at a visual update of Vertisaber's progress, and yet he's still pestering it every few seconds as if he's Jerry wondering why his grilled cheese sandwiches keep breaking the toaster.
As we've seen consistently throughout the show, Rick is a very controlling asshole who's also very arrogant, so him underestimating the AI and checking in on it so often actually fits his character.
Approaching the lightsaber in T-minus... now. T-minus now. Sorry.
And this apology, continuing for several more seconds, means that there actually was a T-minus amount of time he could have shared but didn't. Stop making a mockery of the T-minus system. Movie tension isn't going to falsify itself.
This is a comedic cartoon. It's not supposed to follow real-world logic to the letter. These types of sins are not entertaining or funny at all. They're just a waste of time.
I would be honored if you would carve the ham this year.
I would be less sin-happy if someone in this family would acknowledge that they have zero clue where Morty has been for the last few hours, and maybe if one of them was concerned about that fact.
Please refer to the previous sin.
Also, putting fruit on meat. Stop it.
Discount Jeremy is a picky bitch. Fruit on meat can be great when it's done right. Aaron just doesn't like it because, in all likelihood, he has the palate of a 5-year-old. It makes sense, seeing as he has the intellectual capacity of a 5-year-old.
Chicken! Give me tendies! Give me tendies!
My grandpa, you're a f***ing robot.
I'm not sure if I should sin Jerry for just going ahead and cutting into Rick, even though Jerry couldn't be 100% positive Morty was telling the truth, or if I should remove a sin for Jerry taking the initiative for once. I'm pretty sure there's no God that would forgive me for removing a sin for Jerry, so I'm going to go ahead and play those just in case there's an afterlife odds.
Discount Jeremy sins something he likes, or at least should like because it was funny, cliche.
Just glad I'm not the one that ruined Christmas.
I mean, you did make your family aware that Rick was an imposter bot, and they were perfectly happy and content with not knowing that, so you didn't not ruin Christmas.
You're ruining my day right now by refusing to be funny or entertaining, but you don't hear me bitching about it. Wait, that's actually exactly what I'm doing right now. Ah, well.
Mom spaghetti.
People of Earth.
That's never good.
I'm not here to play...
The president, who is on TV, pauses so that Beth can get her line in.
Discount Jeremy points things out on the screen cliche.
We launched the White House into space. Well, I'm busted.
But other than comedic timing, there's really no reason you should be. Was the lack of gravity in space a surprise? Did the genius minds who managed to turn the White House into a spaceship also forget to tell the president that making this broadcast at the exact moment they lose gravity was not a good idea?
Did nobody tell you that taking a cartoon at face value isn't a good idea? Well, clearly not, seeing as you still insist on making these horrible, boring videos.
Scream all you want, Rick, but this unholy monitor monstrosity is totally within your power to change. Why has this map been spread across multiple monitors?
Cartoon. Not supposed to make sense.
Mom spaghetti.
Oh, so now there's gravity on the White House. You.
Please refer to the previous sin.
Look at him! Lightsaber hand!
Which means the president already had access to the lightsaber technology, so why didn't he just have one made for himself instead of going through all the bullshit of stealing Morty's?
Dude, how is this so difficult for you to understand? He was able to make these lightsabers because he stole Morty's lightsaber. You just randomly assume that he already had that technology before stealing Morty's saber when you have absolutely no evidence of that whatsoever.
Robot with lightsabers for eyes! God damn it, he can't see!
So this droid wasn't tested, like, at all?
Skip.
Star Wars rules say, you have to forgive me.
Actually, the Star Wars rules say that Jerry has to swoop in and throw the president into a bottomless void where we miss the next 30 to 35 years of Morty's life, and instead of seeing any of the cool shit he does, just skip straight to his green milk-addicted retirement years.
What are you talking about? That never happened. At least, not in canon. Nope, I don't care what any of you Disney fanboy dumbasses want to say. The trilogy that must not be named does not exist.
Also, you could probably have a Portal Ex Machina sin in just about every episode, but this one seems more insane than most, so here's one sin plus the other 50 we should have already given in previous episodes.
And here's a sin for you still not knowing what the term Deus Ex Machina means.
I should have included you in my
So we're clear, no one should ever be included in your That's your It's personal and also biodegradable, I think.
Discount Jeremy makes a cringy poop joke that isn't funny cliche.
Yes, I bet you have.